Hey, good evening, everyone. It's it sounds like everyone can hear what is happening backstage for some reason, but anyways, hey, welcome. It's an evening in Georgia and it's morning, well, afternoon, early afternoon in Canada, and we have an unusual guest today, which is from like 8,000 miles apart from us, and that is Ben Mantle from Canada, better known as BenKyo Baduk, and you guys have seen his live streams, and probably you're subscribed to his YouTube channel. Is like a lot of lessons, a lot of everything, and he's gonna be live on stream with us today. So welcome, please welcome Ben.
Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome
Hey,
to Go Magic stream.
hey Ben. Hey, how's it going?
Good,
How
how
are
are you?
you? Did you wake up? Is everything
Yeah,
okay?
I'm good.
Sorry, what?
Just showered.
Okay, the volume. Let me.
Got the baby face going.
Okay. Can you hear it better? Does it sound okay,
It's okay for me.
Mike?
No, I've been
Okay.
up for like 3, 4 hours though.
Good. Okay. So, I have a few questions. So before we do some stuff, we're gonna run a poll at some point. Okay. The sound is
Hmm.
okay, and we're gonna run a poll at some point for like 10 minutes and let everyone decide what we're gonna do. But before we do any of that, let's talk. I have a lot of questions actually because you are a
Hmm.
mysterious one. We don't know anything about you, so we'd like to know. So first off, now tell me, have you been learning? Have you or have you not been learning Japanese? Because
yeah. So I mean, I'm out of practice and I never was like, natively fluent or anywhere near that. But I learned Japanese for 2 years at U of T, University of Toronto, and then
oh
uh, the funny thing is I did learn a lot of Japanese from watching anime. I think it helps when you already understand the grammar and then so you can pick things up better.
yeah, I guess I should have done that because when I was watching anime, I was always watching it without any voiceover, only with subtitles. But I guess I didn't know any grammar at all. So like I've listened to a lot of it, but I
Yeah,
still don't
yeah.
understand. So I've just started now, and then I discovered this "BenKyo suru" verb, which means to study. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense now. That's where Ben got. Yes, mind blown. That's where
Yeah.
he got it. That's where he got it.
It's
Nice.
like almost a pun, but not exactly.
Yeah, it's a nice pun. It's a nice pun. Yeah. BenQ studying, like you should like
Yeah.
BenQ studying. It is actually studying. All right,
Hmm.
so tell me about Go in Canada, because like we don't know much about it, and because there's like a very prominent Go scene in the U.S. But then what about Canada? Like specifically in Toronto,
Hmm.
where you are,
Toronto is, yeah.
and in Canada in general.
Yeah, Toronto. I haven't traveled that much throughout Canada, which is funny. Actually, most of my traveling through Canada was for Go. So like before Go, I hadn't been barely anywhere. So I've been to Quebec, I've been to like Vancouver, and a few other places close to Toronto for Go stuff. Uh, but if you take away the Go tournaments and stuff, I've barely traveled throughout Canada still. Kind of embarrassing, actually. I've been a lot more like I've been around like Japan and South Korea more than I've been around Canada.
Yeah. Oh, we've
um,
been we've been rated. We've been rated by Ternamya.
ooh,
Hey, Ternamya. Thank you. We're
thank you so much for the
we're
raid.
looking forward to stream with you as well. Yeah. And yeah, I've heard this. I've heard this interesting thing from someone that it's actually in Canada. It's more expensive to travel around Canada than it is to travel somewhere
Because
to like
it's pretty
Mexico
big
or something.
country. Yeah, it's because it's pretty big and like lots of middle of like expansive middle of nowheres. So it takes a like just to go to BC, right? That's well over like I think it was well over 1,000 or something just to get to Vancouver.
Well, so that's a
Um,
bummer, isn't it? Because like Canada is known to have those incredible landscapes. It's like those mountains
yeah.
and everything everywhere. I
I need to
mean,
check out more of Canada. Like, there's probably just random tourists that have seen more than me. So yeah,
yeah. So would you
but
say that there's I mean, are there a lot of strong players in Canada?
yes. So for example, Ryan Lee, right, hails from Canada. Like he was
Oh,
a member of the
I thought he was in New
you.
York. I didn't know he was
He is
Canadian.
there. I believe he's Canadian. well, anyway, maybe you should have him on here too. That would be cool.
We might,
But
yeah.
yeah, he may be the strongest player in North America, right? Like he's a monster.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Um,
he was playing in this. I think in some transatlantic or something, some tournament, and he was beating
yeah,
everyone.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And he was. I think he was
yeah,
champion one like last year or something.
yeah. So, and Canada actually has a lot of strong Go players. Like I remember, it's probably happened a few times, but I know that there's one match of Canada versus US, just a friendly match, right? That I paid particular attention to, and Canada won at that time, I believe.
Ooh.
Now I'm not. Maybe US could be have more strong players, but Canada at least holds our ground, I think. Uh,
Do you have
there's a lot
any
of
professional players in Canada?
yeah,
I mean, Ryan Lee's
yeah. There's a
professional, but
few, I
he's
believe. There's a few lingering here and there, yeah, lurking about. And there's a lot of strong amateurs who are people who are like easily Fox 9 Dan and stuff like that. So,
wow.
uh,
Okay, yeah. Because I was all I knew about Canada was like, well, there's BenKyo there, and then he's like,
yeah,
you're like 8 done Tai Gem Fox,
I'm
right?
like I'm a weak 8 Dan Tai Gem Fox, yeah.
Week 8 done. Come on, I saw your live streams where you posted like, I'm gonna be destroying,
Well, it was
quote unquote
I
destroying 8 done.
that was cap. That was cap. That was like sarcasm. But I mean, I have been thanks to like being in AYD and I think AI, like I barely have time for my own training right now. Like AYD, for example, one of the big things you get when you sign up to their league is access to all the lectures and stuff. And aside from attending a few of the live ones, I haven't gone through like any of the maybe hundreds of so I'm not at a place yet in my entrepreneurial stuff that I can put a lot of time into training myself, but I do. AI is really powerful for training, like just a little bit of like on stream AI reviews and stuff. I've already noticed a difference.
Yeah, we're
Like,
so we're so lucky, right? I mean, like
yeah,
only a few years ago, we couldn't even imagine how like we had to like think of ways of traveling to Korea or China or
mhm,
somehow finding some teachers from there. But now you got a teacher right in your pocket.
yeah, it's I mean, you could say for people who started Go a long time ago, you could say like it kind of took away some of the magic of like people inventing openings and stuff and not knowing the truth and all that. But for improvement though, AI is really amazing, particularly if you're Dan level. I think it's fine if you're less than that, but it can be unnecessary also for some levels and even confusing sometimes. Because AI is hard to understand what they're trying to do, even for like pros, I think so. But I have already noticed a difference in my Fox 8 Dan games, for example, right? I went from being like sure to drop, once I got there to winning at least a third, maybe more than a third even now. So I'm probably gonna drop if I play enough, but I'm excited to get to that point where it's like stable.
Yeah, I've tried, at least I've tried to spend this last year in living in Georgia, also trying to practice Go a little bit, like not to completely focus on teaching, but also do a little bit something to improve myself. And yeah, I found that with constant AI reviews, I'm getting
Yeah.
just I'm feeling more confidence, like in my more self assured that I know it's a good move because I've seen it multiple times. I've seen the
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
approves. It's like it's
Yeah.
approved, so I can play this for sure.
It's really fun to like for one thing, you get used to AI recommending certain moves that you just remember in the middle of your games and you feel confident. And the other thing is it's kind of for me at least it's kind of fun to predict what the point score would be on a certain move. Because when you spent enough time in like Katrain or AI Sensei or whatever, then you can be like, oh yeah, AI probably is like giving this minus 1 point or minus 0.5.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes, I mean, are you sometimes like in this situation when you're playing a game and you have this move that you really like, but you
Hmm.
know that AI is going to criticize it. You know
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
like tell you you shouldn't have played that, but you can't resist.
Sometimes, like in some of my AYD game streams, for example, I'll be telling chat all about my thoughts on a certain move and stuff, right? And I'm like, okay, I know this is not the AI move, but I'm playing it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
AI move is like this corner approach over here, probably, but I'm doing
Yeah,
it
if
anyway.
I trusted AI all the time, I would be playing those lame Sun Invasions all the time.
Oh, That's why I don't play 4-4s anymore. Like I
Uh,
don't play 4-4s
oh,
anymore.
you don't like being invaded?
It's more like I find it boring because it's just going to be the same thing every
It's the same
time.
thing, yeah, yeah,
And like I don't allow the opponent to have a chance to go into that flying knife thing, the super complicated one,
yeah.
because it's really easy to avoid it. So I've literally never studied that thing because you don't need it. And so that makes it technically even more boring, right? So I literally I like territory, so that's one thing, but I just don't like boring openings. So I play double 3-4
Oh,
as
double
either
three.
the other
Okay.
guy.
Oh, you like territory. Okay. So I'm the opposite. I like influence, and I play Mokazushi. I play 5-3, which is like
Yeah.
immediately like the AI says -2 or whatever. Like you're
Yeah.
at 30% right off the bat.
People unfortunately people are starting to play those things even less because of AI's
Yeah.
like what do you call it? Anyway, so but it would be nice to see more of that actually. Like even around, Fox 8 then you can play it just fine. I mean,
Of
middle
course, I
game
mean,
is
of
what
course,
determines.
and I'm so sure that if you force fine art to always play whatever Mokazushi or even like some crazy 6-4, 6-5 move, whatever, always play only that one, it's gonna just do just fine. It's not gonna
Yeah,
change. It,
yeah.
it can still do like give those 2 stones handicap, and nothing's gonna change.
It might affect AI versus AI slightly, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
but not again, not versus those those human professionals.
it's nice when the Fox players sometimes play uh 3-5 or 4-5 because I learned that um uh for one thing I learned is that AI likes to invade those corners rather than closing your own corner. That's something that wasn't obvious to me until I saw AI always wants me to 3-3 those corners.
Oh, you mean like a
Sometimes
five
2-4.
a 5-3 if you play a Mokazushi, the AI wants to
Mhm.
invade? Yeah, yeah, that's what I
So once
noticed.
once you have two
Yeah.
of your own corners already, rather than enclosing your corner like a 3-4, they want to like 3-3 one of those weird
Yeah.
corners.
I know that
Yeah.
because that seems to be the easiest way to handle it. Like not to get into any of the complicated stuff, any of the big slope joseki or anything, but just take the corner in gote, but it's going to be a big corner, so it's fine. And yeah,
Well, I
AI
mean,
does that.
from the human point of view, my feeling was like, oh, maybe I want to wait to go into it because you're sort of walking into a trap in a way, and like going into your 3-5, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And if you just wait for them to enclose it, it's like maybe their stone's going to end up not where they would have wanted it otherwise. Like if you have 3-5 and you close it so that it looks like a 3-4 enclosure, then you've locked yourself into a small knight move enclosure,
Yeah,
right?
but what's even worse, I'm gonna enclose it in not in this boring 3-4 enclosure way, but I'm gonna
Mm,
enclose it in some weird lopsided enclosure, and then you're gonna be forced to invade because you're like I can't let him have all of
yeah.
that, and then you invade, and it's gonna be a fight on my terms.
3-5 is a lot of fun.
It is, yeah. So wait,
Yeah.
is there just getting back to the Canadian talk?
Yes.
Is there a Canadian Go Federation out there?
So there's Canadian Go Association. Yeah, the
Okay,
president is James Sedgwick, 6'10". And so there's a lot of Go clubs even in Toronto alone. Sometimes they become inactive or whatever. But like when I first started, I was really lucky because there was like a bajillion Go clubs active at the time. So like I started Go in high school in grade 11 or so, and I wasn't even really that focused on my studies either. Like I was way more focused on Go once I got into it. So I had Go clubs to go to every day if I wanted to. There was a Korean Go club that
whoa.
was essentially 24/7, and I became really chummy with like the owner and his friends and stuff.
Wait, there was a
Uh,
Go Club in Toronto that was 24/7.
well, it was where he lived. Uh, so and he was so chill. Like when you get to know him, it's like you can bring your friends in there at like 2 a.m. and just play.
That
Like you
is an
guys were just
amazing vibe. I mean, that's just
Yeah, like, sometimes we're out doing whatever, and then we're just like, you guys just wanna go and, like, we're nearby the Korean Go Club, let's just go in and play." Uh, so he was pretty cool. So that would be my default when there wasn't any other Go clubs to go to, like, on, like, like a Thursday or something. There was a Saturday Go club to go to, we called it the Chinese Go Club, it was at this building, we called it CPAC because it was, like, on the door or on the building, it said CPAC, but, what is it? It was like there were 7 Dans and 5 Dans were just walking around like it's nothing in that Go club.
that is
And
a really good
so
environment. I mean,
yeah. and they were very like review focused and very like improvement. The vibe in that place was very improvement oriented. Um, every time you finish a game, you'd be sure to have a few of them crowding around and commenting.
Oh,
And
it's
you could
like
spectate.
that
Yeah.
classic seven down kibitz games, right?
Hmm. So, I went there first as a 10Q, and you just absorb even though they're talking in Chinese most of the time, actually,
Oh, oh,
you
okay.
can tell a bit of what they're saying though from their finger pointing and all that. So, to some extent, you can still learn from it, or you just get someone to translate for you. And sometimes it was in English, like if it was, yeah. But it was such a strong Go club, it was ridiculous, and so I shot up pretty quickly around that time because of that. Like, there was a 3Q youngster guy, like he was like maybe a couple years younger than me or something, named Keith. I remember him, good friend. He would play handicap games with me and just destroy me, right? And I learned a lot from that, plus the five dans and the six dans and all that. So that
Right.
was a really cool place. Um, not active anymore. I think they still do like classes or something. But there was York University Go Club. They met on Tuesdays. There was just Toronto Go Club was Wednesdays and Sundays back then, and there was actually a lot of people. So it was great. Yeah.
All right. I was about to ask
So
you about. I was about to ask you how you started because you said
mhm.
you came to the Go Club already being 10Q. But before we do that, maybe we should run that poll. Mike, can we run the poll? So, hey everyone, this is the time when you participate. We've been talking here. Everyone's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
we're getting pretty comfortable here. We don't have to type anything. But yeah, you have to make a decision now because we could do multiple things. So first off, we could do a regular game, which sounds incredibly boring. But yeah, we could do that. I mean, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Check out the choices in the poll.
yeah. The choice is in the poll, and then the second thing and the third thing is going to be a survival game, which is like the first version is like 17 stone survival game. One of us is going to be
Sabaki,
surviving.
right?
Yeah.
Mm,
And then the
yeah.
other, and then the other one's like the Iron Cage survival, when there's a whole cage of black stones around the perimeter, and then a white needs to live anywhere in the middle of the board. And
Yeah, it's
then
really hard.
there's Ultra Blitz. It's like super Blitz, which is gonna be probably my destruction because I suck at Blitz, and I lose on time on move 7 or something. But we'll see. And then there's
Oh,
something
I'm great.
else.
I'm great with time. Oh, I'm great with
Oh, you're
time.
good. Oh, god damn it.
No, I'm cap. That's cap. That's cap. That's cap. I'm kidding.
And then the
Anyone?
last option, what was that, by the way? Oh yeah, it was One Color Go. One Color Go that we've never played live on stream before. But that sounds like fun. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
it's all fun.
Talking and memorizing the entire position on the board. Isn't it simple?
Um, Survival Go is they're asking in the chat. So Survival Go is like there's a bunch of black stones, let's say, placed around the board. And white has to plop a stone, let's say, in the middle and try to survive. It's like that. So you give black a whole bunch of influence pointing towards the middle, basically.
Yeah, so
There's different ways to set it up.
you make two eyes and you win the game. You
Hmm.
don't need to make territory, you
It's
just
hard.
you just need to live. And
It's hard.
yeah, it is hard. But I think theoretically, the chances are, if it's like between two equally strong opponents, it's a little bit easier to survive because it's.
Yeah, it's pretty big space.
Yeah. So I think if it's survival go, I think I should be the one surviving because it's easier, and I'm a slightly weaker player. So you guys
Mhm.
think about it. It's like you have like, I don't know, 10 minutes. What's the max time of the poll? And while you're thinking, we keep talking. So, how did you become 10Q then?
So the way I got into Go is a very cliche way. Do you want to take a guess?
Hikaru no Go.
Yes. Yes. So it's a bit of a funny story for me in that so I was already in like anime club and stuff like that in high school. Just casually participating there. My first time seeing Go, they were playing on like a little magnetic M&M looking set, and I wasn't interested. It just looked like a mess on like a mess of M&Ms to me. So that didn't get me interested. Nor were they like super passionate players or anything. Like they barely knew Go either. At the time, the best player would have been like 18Q or something. Um, so then my friend, in a span of maybe over like 2 years, maybe my friend kept telling me to watch this anime, right? Hikaru no Go. And I checked out the premise of it, and the way the premise was described, it really sounds like something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's like, okay, there's a young boy who gets inhabited by like a spirit who's like a master at a certain game, from 1,000 years ago or whatever, and then he also defeats like a prodigy on his first try or whatever. Like it's literally the same start as Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh. So I was like, Yu-Gi-Oh is fine, but I wasn't really just wanting to watch that. And then I declined like 3 times, and I finally gave it a try. And after 2 or 3 episodes, I'm like, oh shit, I want to watch this.
Yeah, yeah,
So
you get that's the beauty of those Japanese anime is you get hooked
they hook you
so
in. Yeah,
easily. Like
anime is really good for sports, like any kind of mind or physical sport.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
they have amazing things. It's just it keeps surprising me when I there's
yeah,
this anime about baseball, and I don't
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't even
yeah.
play baseball. Okay, I don't even know the rules of baseball. I mean, all of them. I know the basics, and then I
It
start
makes you
watching
want
it.
to do it though,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
right?
you
Like
start watching. You say, how can you make an anime about this and to make it fun? And it is fun.
there's a show I haven't seen called Yakitate Japan. I think that's probably how you pronounce it because it's a Japanese word, but it's about baking. I heard, and so some friends of mine got into baking. It's just
What?
so random.
I mean, yeah, no wonder people got into Go. I mean, Go is more
Yeah,
fun than that. And then there's you see the game, and then there's this It's very inspirational and it's very moving when you see the story.
yeah.
Anton saying, "Am I the only one who voted for a regular game?" Yes, Anton, you're the only one who voted for a regular game because the regular games
There's
are.
two now. There's two now.
Wait, I can't see that. Let me open it so that I can see as well. Oh, okay. Oh, play Ultra. What?
Maybe
Everyone's
someone just
voting
added.
for Ultra. Nobody's voting for One Color Go. Come on, you guys. Have you ever seen One Color Go? It's fun. Okay, it's like you're watching a regular game, but for us, it's like hell.
Mhm.
Except
Yeah.
except Ben is used to playing with black stones, and I'm used to playing with white stones. I played like a handful of games with white stones before.
What is your level, by the way? Because I don't actually know.
I'm a 6 dan fox, 6 dan taijun.
Ooh, wow. Okay, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, so yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's all of that is just yeah, and it's stayed like this for a while, and I think now I've gotten from a weak 6 dan fox to like a confident one in the
Mhm.
course of this year when I'm like, wait, why is there music playing? What's happening?
Music?
Yeah,
I don't hear any music.
wait, what's happening? No, I guess I can hear it, but I'm wondering
Well, I
why.
don't have the stream. So I don't have the stream on, right? Because I'm talking to you on Discord. I'm watching the stream muted, so it could be there's like some, raid or whatever, or some donation.
Oh yeah,
Is
sure.
that what you're hearing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just whenever I see the like somebody's following, I'm sorry guys if I don't like react immediately because like we're in the middle of the conversation. I'm listening to Ben. I don't want to interrupt him. Oh, thanks. Yeah, the music is
So it's
gone.
a notification sound, right?
Yeah, yeah. So and I'm also not that of an experienced streamer. I'm not like Ben. You probably run the stream a lot more efficiently than I do. Uh,
Oh, totally. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, but like, okay, since we got into this, I was gonna ask you more about your getting strong routine, but we'll get to that. But let's talk about streaming first. So,
Okay.
tell me, how does it like when you're sitting there and you're playing for hours and it's just, I mean, how do you not make it like how is it not tiring to you? Like
Uh,
if you're playing for 5 hours straight and you're just not making jokes, you're not doing something crazy, you're just playing a game on Fox, and you're just playing another game on
so
Fox. Like
it's probably more tiring for me than the average Go streamer because I don't stop talking. Because
that's
my
what they tell
style so
me. That's what
far,
they tell me. They tell me, Vadim, you should shut up sometimes and just focus on the game.
yeah, so my style so far has been to explain all about what I'm doing and all that. Uh, and so it's very teacher mode kind of Go. And when I do that for like 4 or 5 up to like 12 hours sometimes, uh, it it is pretty destructive. But my stamina for playing Go itself is pretty good. Like usually in my IRL friend groups and stuff over the years, like I was usually the last person to want to stop playing it. I'm always like, guys, let's keep playing, and they always want to. After a few hours, they want to do something else.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
I have good stamina for playing games for streaming. I think so when I first started streaming, right, it was very tiring and very chaotic for me. I was always like
Yes. Yes.
overwhelmed by all the things to keep track of and making mistakes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a simple matter of just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And
Like, but I mean, we do it rarely, so every time I do it, I feel like,
it
why do I
resets. Yeah.
mess it up all the time? Like, I'm playing a 9x9 game, for Christ's sakes. It should be very simple, but I'm like, I can't focus on the game. I have to be talking. I have to be like reading the messages and responding and
Yeah.
all those things at once, and then I lose the game
So
before I
like
know it.
my a lot of my chat does want me to focus more on my games in general, just to like win more, right? Because there's games where I should be able to win, but then I have more like on the board accidents and stuff because I wasn't fully focused. I have been trying to work on that more and focus more, but I'm more invested in the streaming than the actual games that I'm playing on the stream. So like that side of it is more important to me in like the big picture. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. I
that's
mean, it's more important that you. I mean, if you're streaming, you're not playing those like games for yourself. You're doing this as an educational activity. You want to show everyone how an Adon Fox thinks about this or that situation.
Yeah, so unless I started like really losing constantly of games I should be winning, then when it gets to a certain point, I would have to, fix things no matter what. But I've been okay with how things been going. But
Hmm.
for the AYD matches, it has been good when I focused a bit more because it makes a pretty big difference. It's funny, like you might have this experience too, but you might play someone even 3 or 4 stones weaker. But if your focus is even a little bit like not there, it can just easily become a really hard game.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
I
like
think
go,
it's easier even when you play, for example, simultaneous games. Like you play, I don't know, 6 games at once, and those people are like 4 or 5 stones weaker, and you can do that. But here, it's even more distracting. You're like, it's worse than
imagine doing it on stream, simul's on stream. It's
yeah.
hard.
Oh, yeah. It's probably very hard. Yeah. And then
I
Buzzsaw is saying that he did 12 hours straight, 3 days in a row recently.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
you?
I did a triple. So people kept meeting like sub goals and stuff that chat was helping me set on stream. So then they got double encore basically.
They were not kind to you.
Oh, the thing that was not kind to me was my Fox opponents because we started off with an 8Q account because
Oh,
it was for some people it's nice to see me playing against that level if they're that level, right?
right.
But the problem is those games took forever and the people never resigned. And it took me, I think, 12 hours to get from 8Q to 4Q, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's good if you could like somehow edit it out. I mean, you can edit it out later, but you can't really edit it out in like real time. So it
yeah, it
yeah, and they never resign. Yeah, I've experienced that. But I mean, it's so you're so lucky that like I started this another account on TieJam just to practice playing faster, and I started it from 3 down, which is amazing. You could start from 3 down. You don't have to go all the way from like
yeah,
AQ,
yeah.
which is
Well,
great.
same with Fox. We purposely chose 8Q, right? But Fox lets you start at like 3 den or something. Um, but in 3 days, all we got to was to 5 den.
Well,
Or
that's pretty good. I
yeah,
mean,
we
3 days, and I saw those like I saw those notifications that you were streaming and that you were going from 4Q or from 8Q or something. And I was thinking, how could you even in 12 hours? The game takes like an hour and a half, and then one game, and you need
we
to
played
win.
97 games. Yeah, we played 97 games. Uh,
That is
now
brutal.
it was the brutal part wasn't even the games because my I don't know, my stamina for playing a lot of Go in one day is like I can just keep playing. But you would be surprised. The time taken per game is like a pyramid. You would think it takes longer to beat the stronger people, right? But until it reaches at least 6 dan, the games are still, I should win most or all of them. But the 5 dans resign faster. The 3 dans also resign faster.
Sure,
But everyone,
because they know they're losing and they resign. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. 3 den actually they still kind of don't resign, but around 3 or 5 den it got better and things started to speed up.
Yeah.
But it was traumatizing
Once you
from
kill
going.
something large enough, they and they see that
And
it's
I'm
dead.
not a very but I'm not a very killy player. That's the thing. Like if they want to die, I'll kill them, and it happens a lot. Like they just kill themselves. But I'm a very like my journey to get past like Canadian 5 dan level or like let's say Fox 7 dan, right, has
Mhm.
been mostly about making my Go more and more and more active, like more violent. So
See? Yeah. I mean, for
yeah,
me, it's probably the other way around. I'm going from the other extreme. I'm going from being extremely violent to trying to be
yeah.
Because I'm a teacher and I used to teach a lot, and I mean, and as a teacher, you can't be violent. You can't be like destroying people all the time. So yeah. Somebody's asking, would anyone know about the board state in one color Go after a while? Yeah, yeah, of course. You guys, if we play one color Go, which we won't because you voted for Ultra Blitz, Ben, get ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know, I know. I have no idea how it's gonna pan
It's
out, but
fun. I do find it fun, but I'm like you, like my chat knows that I am a pretty slow player and I enjoy the contemplative part of Go
yeah,
and
same,
like
same.
exploring the
I
possibilities.
love to read those stories when you see how Honibo Shusaku and Sekiyama Sendaiyu just played a game, and
Yeah.
they continued it overnight, and then they finished it at
That's
sunset the next day, and you're like, that's the way to go.
That's
That's
a topic that I was talking about on stream. It came up as a tangent. Like, I always thought that I'm training myself. Like, my vision of what I'm training myself for, right, is those kind of games that's either like long tournament games or like super long games you set up, with your friend or whatever, that's going to be like 8 hours or something. Something crazy, right? That's the kind of Go that I just imagine I really wanted to be good at. But unfortunately, 99% of the games that we are stuck playing are the faster, like 5 minutes, 3 times 30, something like that, right? That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
that's just how online Go is. So I guess I have to pivot my focus. My time management's terrible.
Same, same. Yeah, it's like yeah, yeah. Anton's probably listening out there and thinking, yeah, Vadim, listen to that. That's what you need to fix as well. And yeah, guys, if we were to play one color Go, then of course you guys would be seeing the board in both colors, and
Normal
it's
board,
only
yeah.
Ben and me. They're going to be seeing one color. So we are playing one color Go, but you see it as a regular game, and you don't even realize that we are suffering and dying inside.
Oh, right. I forgot to say, someone earlier in chat, by the way, commented on our backgrounds being black and white. That's kind of cool, right?
It is, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just need to ditch the posters and stuff.
I should have worn a maybe a white T-shirt to make it
Right.
really opposite.
Right. That would have been epic. Yeah, we could do that next time.
Sure, we could, yeah. Um, so
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
so what about how did you? What
Study
was your?
improvement part.
Did you do it on purpose? No, we
Do
didn't
what?
do anything on purpose. No, I mean somebody's asking. I guess they're talking
Ah,
about the backgrounds. No,
no, it
no,
was not on purpose. No.
no. No, I mean BenKyo didn't just paint his walls white just for this live stream, which would be very cool if he did.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna paint my walls. Yeah.
Yeah, my teacher taught me exclusively via Bully Go. Yeah, but I mean, you can
Fully
only
go.
go
Yeah.
that far by playing Bully Go. Like, I have a friend who teaches everyone and then destroys them in teaching games, and people sometimes they quit. Like
It's like
for
weeding out, right? Like,
yeah,
if you survive, you'll be strong.
yeah, like the weed from the chaff. Yeah, like you just yeah. If you lose a couple times and you lose it and you lose your like you can't play anymore, then I guess Go is not for you because like more.
Just like U of T, weeding school.
Okay, so tell me about your Go learning routine. Like I mean, before it was probably more intense. Now it's probably more live streaming and doing all those
I want
activities.
to, yeah. I want to. So, like, if I were training right now, right, to get beyond my current level, AI exhibition matches with strong people, right, strong friends and stuff. What else would it be? I mean, um, I'll tell you guys just real quick my plan for my own training when I can make enough time to really execute on it, right? It's for me though, right? It's very tailored, but there's something I like to call Sumego exposure training. So you have like reading training and exposure training. Exposure training would be like you don't spend very long on each problem and you just trust your quick reading and your instinct and just see the answer after that,
Hmm.
and you go through a huge amount of problems that way, right? Thousands. In my case, I would do thousands over who knows how long. And you might even rinse and repeat, right? And it's to get that exposure to all the solutions. This is something that, if you guys know Z Chen, the streamer, he's a
Yeah.
strong AGA player. He's a huge proponent of like just looking at solutions. He's always talking about that. Most people aren't, right? Most people talk about reading it, properly, right? And taking your time. And I like to separate those two things. So you need to develop your reading ability, right? Because that's a thing on its own that if you never practice reading deeply, then you won't be able to, right?
Yeah.
Um, so, and then there's like the shape instincts and all that, and the just remembering techniques, basically solutions. So, I'm planning to do a huge amount of AI game reviews and also playing against AI and playing against strong people, right? And then the other side of it is kind of a whole phase of Sumego exposure training, followed by a phase of the actual reading training where I try to solve them all properly.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I heard, that a lot of the stronger Chinese and Korean professionals, when they study, when they're in say, they kind of, I mean, they go through all of the problems available out there, and they pretty much memorize. I mean, not memorize, they solve them, but they like do basically what you just described as exposure training. They
mhm,
remember all of the solutions, and then after a certain point, they don't solve any more Tsumego, because there's nothing left to solve. They've solved all of the classic collections, and they know all of them by heart, and they just remember the how they're solved, and they wouldn't miss this in an actual game.
mhm.
But I mean, I wonder how much commitment, how much energy that would take to actually do that.
It'll be time consuming. I
It
mean,
is, yeah.
it's solving problems fast with the exposure method will be nice because you can get a lot of problems done in a short session and even break it up, right? It's the slow reading that takes more time, and also like the AI game reviews is really time consuming. Because when I do game reviews of my own games, I like to go really deep. In my experience, I gained a lot more from going super long and deep on one game than to do shallow on a few games. But whatever works for you. And something that I found worked for me really well in like single digit Q level is to scrutinize individual moves instead of glossing over and only thinking in terms of sequences and like events on the board. Like you can figure out the events on the board and sort of what happened, what you did wrong, and tie a concept or two to it in like 5 or 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes even by yourself. But to look at each move and figure out your unnecessary fixes, your stuff that maybe the opponent did something that shouldn't actually work, or like, Tsumego that came up in the game, or like reviewing joseki and researching any joseki you messed up or that you wanted to do. There's so much to do with one game review if you put the time in. And uh, my
Yeah.
advice to single digit Q would be to like look at those individual moves, yeah, in the middle game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes that I mean, I do a lot of I give a lot of advice to single digit queues or double digit queues, but I don't really know. I don't have a good like mechanism for game analysis with AI myself, because like it's not really a skill that people teach you, because it's very new. So you have to figure it out by yourself. Like you take a game that you just played, and you run it through Catago or something, and
Hmm.
then what happens next? Like how do you, if it's your game, do you
Yeah.
just look at the biggest mistakes that you made, and this and you think, okay, that's where I messed it up, like that's where I lost the
Yeah.
game. Do you
I've done a
review
lot of
your
this on.
do you review your won games, the games that you won?
Yeah, I review those too.
Okay.
Because to me, like, this is how I treat things for my students too, which is that I don't actually care that much about the result. I care about like whether it was well played and how like because you could play super well and then just mess up one thing at the end, right? Go is so unforgiving. That's why if you're not fully focused against somebody a few stones weaker than you, you
Yeah.
could just easily lose because just one little move can ruin everything, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and the other way around. Sometimes you're reviewing someone's game, and the game looks like it looks terrible. It's a mess. And then somehow you're like you're thinking, how could this be a win?
yeah,
And then this opponent just messes up, and one of his groups just gets split into two, and they both of them die or something. And you're like, okay, that's how it happened. But like the game was good for him, for that
yeah.
person, and then this happened. So it's just a reading blunder, but it's not really like an understanding of the game mistake per
Right.
se.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, reading is like, when it comes to reading, right, just trust yourself because that's all you can do. And if you're reading things at all, that's good enough. Like people mostly don't read enough, right? So you should just read more and more and more and always try to make yourself read more. That's how you get stronger. Um and yeah, if you did your best reading but your reading is just wrong, that's fine because, your reading gets better over time. You can't just review your game and suddenly be better at reading, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
The
that.
important thing is the thought they had, right? Like, what were they trying to do? Did that make sense, right?
We have some pictures of. I've almost forgotten. We have some pictures of you, so we could maybe take a little break from this and go through a couple of those, and maybe you do some comments on when those were
Yeah.
taken, because like you look a
My
lot
my
like
pictures my pictures are so scattered, and they're from, like, more than 10 years ago and stuff, some of them.
yeah. But I mean, those pictures are so impossible to find. So hey, we
Yeah.
have them. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. Um.
Sure.
All right. Wait. All right, so I
Oh, yeah,
can't
this
I
one.
can't temporarily I can only see the pictures. I can't see you, but it's okay. So what is it? What is this one? This looks like a lot of time back.
Yeah, this is I can't remember how many years ago this is, but most of these pictures are gonna be 10 or more years ago. But this one is, I was teaching a class. It's at this place that it's called Golden Key, and I don't know if they still do it actually, but they were doing Go classes for kids. There was one or two people who I remember joining that weren't kids, but it's mainly for kids. They do a lot of like English classes, Chinese classes, stuff like that. Maybe Japanese too.
Would you say that a
But
lot
there was a
of
Go class.
would you say that a lot of like kids coming into Go in Canada are of Canadian of Chinese origin? Because it seems to me that it's a very those kids. I mean, I can't see their faces, but they seem like their
Yeah,
hair
they
styles. They seems
now
Asian.
uh so you often see like sometimes a lot of like let's say Chinese parents, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like Korean, Japanese, etc. They'll get at least in Toronto, right? Like a lot of time the programs they get their kids into might be run at like a Chinese place
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like that. And Go is predominantly East Asian players, right? So, yeah, I mean, like these kids might also at that time be simultaneously enrolled in like a Chinese class, for example, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh,
So it's
but I think the number of non-Chinese Go players is increasing though, or non-Asian, right?
yeah. Because like it's
Yeah.
it's a very similar situation to the U.S. right? In the U.S. also, I think all of the professionals, at least the ones that I know of, all of them are
Hmm.
of an Asian origin, which is kind of
But there's
like
a lot of people coming up really close,
yeah, sure.
like non-Asians. Yeah. Um, there was a time where I was like having this fun thought of wanting to be like the strongest non-Asian player in Canada.
I mean,
And
yeah.
it could be still possible, but there's some people above me right now, like Remy Campagne. I don't know how to pronounce that, French name, but
He's so is he from like Quebec? Because
he's from Quebec.
okay, so
And
he has
he
this
is
very French
technically,
sounding name.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's technically Canadian. Like I think he participates in some of the European stuff, um, but he is like right now he's much stronger than me. He's Canadian at least 7 dan, because you traditionally we used to only go up to 7 from what I remember,
Mm-hmm.
in Canada. But anyway, he's like, he's on par with like the European pros, I think. So,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere around there, right? That's where his strength is. He's like a walking AI actually compared to most of us. Yeah, I got to play him recently at a Go camp event, which was near Quebec, last year, and I'm going to it again actually in August. It's gonna be fun because it's gonna be back to back Go Camp and then Canadian Open, which is in Quebec this year. It's gonna
Whoa,
be great.
a lot of Go activity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I skipped out on US Go Congress, which I've never been to. I really want to go sometime,
I mean,
but
it's easier for you than for us, for sure. So you should. I mean, it's like
well,
it's
it's a
all,
bit like you know, uh, expensive-ish. Like if you're doing a lot of other Go events and if you're spending a lot of money, let's say in like 1 year, then I decided to do the Canadian events instead of that this time, um,
well, people are
and
probably
hoping
like
that
saving up their vacation time, and it's like in Europe, this European Go Congress. A lot of people like they save their vacation like time specifically for that, just to use it up and to go to this Go Congress thing because it's so important to them.
if I was still a software developer, I probably would have also gone to the Congress. But
Sure.
right now, I'm still building back up my income, so I'm like trying to be careful.
Yeah, we'll get to that after the photos for sure, for sure. Yeah, and this is you with a cup.
A
I think.
cup. Am I holding a? Oh, this. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at the stream instead of the Discord conversation, which I should look at. Yeah, I don't remember if I won second or third for this one, but I remember this guy in the middle, right? He was super strong. Back then, he was already like 8 then on these servers.
Uh-huh.
And like probably a solid one, and then by now he's probably way stronger. But I remember I can't remember if it was this event, but I remember I got one win against him, and it felt great.
I think the guy on the left seems familiar. Looks familiar, very familiar. I don't know how I can possibly know him, but he looks very
Oh,
familiar.
he I mean, a lot of like Toronto and Canadian players know him. His name is Tiger Gong,
Oh,
and
okay.
he's been 7 dan Canadian for like a while, or 6 or 7, like strong 6 or maybe 7, yeah, for a long time.
Okay.
I still want to play against him actually, because my only games against him were always when I was much weaker than him, and his style of play is very like harsh and not exactly bully, but like very like attacky and violent and stuff. So I always wanted to like just play against him again and defeat him one day. So I hope I get that opportunity to try
Try and counter
in the future.
his aggressive style with your territorial style.
Yeah. I don't know if I can say that I've like caught up to his strength yet. Probably not, but I would still like to try and see if I can win.
Well, there's only one way to find out. I mean, is
Yeah.
there is
I
there a
probably
chance?
haven't.
Is there a chance for you guys
Hmm?
to play online? Like, does it ever happen that like
Um
strong Canadian players play each other online?
well, there's Canadian League, for example. Like there's an online league. So yeah, a lot of people are in that league actually. Some of my students who aren't even necessarily all Canadian are in that league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't have to be actually living in Canada to participate.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that.
I played in that league briefly, but it's been many years since I joined, because it's like I didn't want to commit, so the time and all that. So yeah.
Well, I mean, that sounds simple enough. Like for playing Ilya Shin, for most people, it's for example, living in Russia, it's going to be a lot more difficult because yeah,
Mm,
he's up there with the
he's a celebrity,
giants.
right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
playing him, it's really hard. Where is I mean this it's just I don't know. Is it me being like reminiscing or what is happening? Like, I feel like this hall is it looks kind of like I've seen it before somewhere.
So if you the previous picture where with the trophies, that was in the same place as the class I was teaching, the
Uh
Golden
huh.
Key place.
Uh huh.
This
Yeah.
one is a little bit more recent than like this is from like some years back, but not really all that far back. Uh, I actually don't remember. I think this might be like Brock or something, Brock University, or is this a Quebec again? I don't know. I don't think I've. No, this must be. I think it's like Brock or somewhere near Toronto. Yeah, I don't remember, but it's more recent. This one.
Looks very nice. I mean, this whole this whole place, the atmosphere of the place looks very good.
I am playing one of the people from Quebec, um, and there are a bunch of players from Quebec, including Remy, who are like it's not just Remy who's also stronger than me. Like there's a bunch of strong French players, and they're so that's like where a lot of like we were talking about non-Asian like strong players, right?
Yeah.
Uh, or like more people getting into Go basically. Yeah, so Quebec has a lot of strong players.
Have you ever tried learning a little French just to communicate with Quebec players more?
No, I mean, if I were gonna do anything like that, I would learn Chinese or Korean, right?
Right, right. Makes
Yeah,
more sense. Yeah. Is it
which I wish I
is that the same Golden Key place as before?
this is Golden Key. This is actually a tournament, but I believe this photo is Golden Key. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just like posing for the camera there.
Yeah. And then
And this
the
is U of T Mississauga. So U of T has like 3 campuses:
uh-huh.
Mississauga, Scarborough, and like downtown Toronto.
Is this from the time when you
Uh,
were still a student there?
so I was a student at the downtown campus, but the tournament here is in the Mississauga campus, and yeah,
Hmm.
that's from around the time when I was a student there. Yeah. Um, the Yeah, those two on the left are good friends of mine from Toronto. Um, yeah, one of them still lives in Toronto on the left, Mike, and then D on the right. He is in like England, I think, right now.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so we were a team, and this was really fun.
Was this a team tournament?
This is a team tournament. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So you have like the first board, second board, third board. This
that's
thing.
right. That's right. Yeah, I think I was third board.
Oh, those are always fun. Well, I mean, this was a time when you were only kind of starting out, right? I mean,
Actually, I think I was already 5 then at this time.
oh,
So,
okay.
I think. So, yeah, I think, the 3 of us are pretty similar level at that time, with D being the strongest, the guy on the right.
So you moved from being in like a beginner, a 10Q and you were in high school, right? And then you were in college and you're already a 5 down. So you moved up the ranks pretty quickly.
Um, so I can fill in the rest of that story really quick, I guess. Basically, so I shot up pretty, good pace, around, like, the Chinese Go Club time, and just going to Go Clubs constantly, right? Like, the way I learned was not systematic at all. It was more like, uh battling it out in the jungle. Like that's how I learned. Just play a lot. Be surround yourself as much as you can with stronger players. Play games with them. Get game reviews and be very curious. Like ask about joseki and deviations and stuff, and tinker with joseki by yourself, trying to like be inventive and be really curious. I think that's really good for improving. Um,
Yeah.
just getting really diving into the details, right, about stuff on the board. Anyway, the way I learned really was just playing a lot. I did get a few Go books finally when I was single digit Q. I ended up not reading most of them, so I
Wow.
kind of wasted money on them. I read a few. I read Invincible, which is my favorite book, The Games of Shusaku.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, it you it transitions into the games through the story of Shusaku's life, right? So it's really enjoyable. There's a few
Yeah.
other books like Get Strong at Attacking, Get Strong at the Opening, but not a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very interesting how you like you moved from a whole different end of the spectrum into this Go mastery because when a lot of people back home, like from where I'm from, people started with books because we didn't have any like most people wouldn't have a strong environment. They don't have any 5 dons walking
I
around. So there's like if you
yeah,
go to a local Go club, it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter from like, even if you're in the capital or anywhere. There's still you come to a local Go club, and it's going to be mostly it's going to be just Q players, double digits,
hmm
single digits. If there's a Don level player, oh, you're lucky. There's a 2 Don at your club.
yeah.
Amazing.
That's the story for most people I know, actually.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's,
But
some of them
like
don't
being
even have a
surrounded
Go Club.
by all of those strong players and like asking them questions and like playing with them and just experiencing this whole thing, that sounds like a
I
perfect.
was really lucky. I was
Yeah,
really lucky. Like, I had all these thoughts like, oh, I started so late. Like, I wanted to go pro, right? Especially after watching Hikaru no Go. Uh, yeah, so, I was really extreme with my with my mindsets for go pursuits and stuff. And actually, funny enough, the character Akira from Hikaru no Go,
sure.
he was actually like my chosen role model because of his attitude, where he doesn't think about anything else all day but go. And even though he's like from a rich family and stuff, and his dad is like title holder and everything, he doesn't act like it because he's like humble, polite, and hardworking. Usually that kind of character, like Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh, let's say, right? Like that kind of character is usually like the rich, like the stuck-up kid who has all the advantages, and then it's the hardworking like protagonist or whatever that overtakes them in the end, right?
Yeah,
Uh, but Akira, it's like they have it flipped, where Hikaru is actually his personality was actually pretty stuck up, whereas Akira was like the opposite. But anyway,
yeah. I never thought of it this
um,
way. Like, but if I had to pick someone who would be me in that Hikaru no Go story, I mean for sure that's not Akira, but it's gonna be probably Waya.
Why is awesome. I love him. He's so
Like this
fun.
wild dude who's like doing all the crazy frolics and then every once in a while gets serious and plays a serious game. you know.
Actually, multiple times people have like said that I'm like Isumi.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I could tell why they were saying that. Yeah, you have that serious vibe about you. Yeah, being a very like polite, reserved, like very like a classic
Interesting. I'm learning. I'm
teacher
learning about myself.
teacher type. The teacher type. Like Isumi is like he could be a very good teacher, right?
He's a very calm. He's like a calm and patient. He's much more mature than like the other insei in the show, right? The kids. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is probably
Um.
from the same event, right?
Well, I
Or-
just called myself mature. That is cringe. Yeah, this is the same event. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um. So yeah, back then,
Is that one
first of
color
all,
go in the foreground?
It looks like it. Yeah, it
Looks
looks
like
like
it with
it.
Blackstone. That's your Canadian one color go Blackstone tradition.
Yeah, for some reason it's always Blackstones. Maybe because black goes first.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Looks scary though.
but what was it? Yeah, I mean, so compared to Canadian, like most North Americans, right? Yeah, there were so many Go clubs, and like I feel like in my like road to one dan, two dan, like up to at least there was always someone there to help teach me basically. Like even when my first teacher and friend would be like out of the country or something, somehow some random person showed up who was like visiting like a tourist or something. They showed up at one of the go clubs. Like there was a couple guys, for example, who showed up at different points in my learning at the York University Go Club, which met on Tuesdays. And at different times too. There was like this one Korean guy. I didn't know his first name. He just called himself Mr. Choi, Mr. Che or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He said Mr. Choi, but like I think you're supposed to pronounce it like Che or something, right? Like Chechalon. Um,
Okay.
Anyway, he was like 6'10 plus strength, and then so he, I guess they saw how serious I was and like trying to, you know um because most people at those go clubs, they're not like trying to go pro or something like that, right? They're just casuals. So they sort of like were very interested in helping me and like playing with me and reviewing for me. And then the other occasion, there's this guy who was from China who was visiting, Eddie, and he was super strong too. Actually, I think I'm probably stronger than him now because he was like KGS 4 Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's funny. There's not very many like teacher figures of mine that I've actually surpassed.
Yeah, because well, I mean, because there's so many of those strong, like super strong players around, and it's very
Mm,
difficult to actually. And you are like when you're like looking up at them as a 7Q player, and then but he's like six done already, so surpassing him,
mm.
you might you know play your whole life and never surpass them if you're not like serious or committed enough.
Yeah, exactly,
So
exactly. Yeah.
it has to be very you have to be very serious. Taiwanese Canadian Cultural Society. Yeah,
Oh
all
yeah,
right.
this one. This is Vancouver. So this is Vancouver 2010 Canadian Open, I believe. Yeah, I got third place for this one. So Remy is there. Remy's in the middle,
Oh, okay.
and the guy. That's my. That's I think that's my. I have like two experiences with Remy. I think go wise. One is I might have played him here. I don't remember. The other was in the Canadian Online League, which was like a long time ago, back when Remy and I were around two dan. So there was a time where he was actually like the same level as me ish. He was probably a bit stronger, but like comparable. Uh, and now he's just super strong. And the guy on the left again is D, right? The guy from the team tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Let me get back to the from this black screen of nothing.
black screen of nothingness.
There we go. Okay. Whew. Okay. Yeah. That's an incredible experience you've had. I mean, you've I know I realized how lucky how lucky you were. Like when I was
Yeah,
saying that
yeah,
like most people when they don't find strong enough like teacher figures they just have to go no gote no cry. That's a pretty cool nickname.
it's
Hey,
hard.
welcome for following.
No gote,
Yeah,
no cry.
it's really hard, and most people turn to like reading multiple like lots and lots of go books. They just
Yeah,
like you said, your first books were kind of when you were already around 1Q, but most people they start reading books, which is like it's insanely early to start reading those advanced professional books when you are 15Q. But a lot of people do that.
yeah. And it's unfortunate that like most people, the people they have around them to play are usually just like around their level or something. Rather than people who are just gonna pull you up from like constantly from like way above you. So I definitely was really lucky in that regard. Like when it comes to Go, I don't feel like I have any when you think about things like talent and stuff, right? Like sometimes that topic comes up when it comes to pros and stuff, right? I have never felt like I have any actual talent for this game, but I think that I just tried really hard during those like 2 years or however long, up to a certain level, and had a go clubs every week and strong players everywhere. So
Pulling you up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, I wanted to ask you this one question, which is actually the one that I've wanted to ask you probably the most during this live stream, and that is how did you? Is in what was it in 2021? Right, you announced that you were going, and I remember that time because we were already doing Go Magic, and I saw that announcement that you were going full time on like
Mm,
so you're turning from being just another amateur guy to being a full time Go teacher. You have Patreon, you have Twitch, you have YouTube, you have everything, and you're like
hmm.
doing nothing else. Is that true? Correct me if I'm wrong
Yeah.
here. You're doing nothing else, but
So
so Go is your only like this is your job right now.
yes, yes, and I'm still in setup phase. Like I'm still working out, like improving the league that I started, which actually has two leagues inside of it. But
So
anyway,
tell me about that
the
transition.
Patreon stuff.
Tell me how you move from how did you make that decision?
Yeah, not how you would expect because most people would wait till like YouTube channel grows, Patreon maybe, grows or whatever. Like you would build things up first, then you would quit your other job, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I just like saved up almost everything I was earning in software. And then even though I didn't save up nearly what I thought that I should get to, like or where just I wanted to, I just I had enough and then I just I quit and I just jumped into this. Pretty much just cold turkey. Like I didn't have anything set up for it really. I had an existing YouTube channel already that was just super casual. Twitch, I had already been streaming a bit
Yeah.
casually. I actually started streaming a few years ago, but only a few streams, then I stopped because I
Hmm.
was stretching myself way too thin. I was doing like tens of hours of Go teaching per week at the same time as like job and streaming and stuff. So it's too
Ooh.
much.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
So I spent a bit of time before June setting things up and then officially sort of announced it in June, right? But even to this day, after I guess like a year, like a long time now, June 2021, right? That's when I announced.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been like a year,
A
I guess,
year.
right?
A year. Exactly a year.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm still in setup phase in my mind. Like
So has it ever
there's
occurred to you that like what if you fail?
yeah, but I'm a pretty optimistic person, and I'm kind of you might say I'm reckless, or you might say I'm just like I'm not afraid of those things. Like if I think if someone I don't know if you believe you can succeed, then just I don't know like YOLO, right?
YOLO.
That was my approach to stopping software development too. It's just like I didn't have a true passion for it, which I realized in later on, and it wasn't making me happy enough. So it's a good job. It was a good job, but
Yeah, I was about to ask you like, is it easier than having a regular job in Toronto? But probably the answer is no. I mean, come on.
you mean this Go stuff, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I would say it's harder because like I'm already complaining to myself about my productivity and stuff, even when I'm doing way more than 40 hours sometimes, like 50, 60. Sometimes it was even like 70. Uh,
but hey, you're doing what
yeah,
you like.
yeah, that's the thing. Now lately it hasn't been 70. I've been a bit, more chill with myself, but um, I enjoy almost every aspect of it. Right? There's only a few things I didn't really enjoy, which is like maybe editing. I
Yeah.
haven't really, yeah, I don't like editing videos, which I've been starting to get help with that. Like just recently, like my YouTube channel has been sort of dead for about 2 months as I've been just trying to
Yeah, I was
work
I was
on
gonna I
Patreon
was gonna ask
stuff
you about
and
that. Yeah, because I was
it's
actually
coming
watching
back.
those videos. I was I mean as a fellow streamer, I'm still and
Yeah,
teacher, but I'm also like those videos are pretty cool, and you've cut those short pieces
thank
out of
you.
your and it's like a mini lesson. If it's a 25-minute like lesson, maybe I wouldn't necessarily watch it, but if it's like a 4-minute lesson, I'm like, whoa,
Hmm.
that's a really useful. There's a lot of really useful things there, even for like my level.
Right. So like because I talk so much in my streams and I'm always in teacher mode, it's actually hard to turn it off. Sometimes people would probably want me to turn it off and I would want myself to turn it off, but it's hard.
Yeah.
You always want to like teach things, right? But from one stream, I can sometimes get like 7 or 8 videos when I cut it up, right? So it's great. I have way more footage right now than I know what to do with because I hadn't fleshed out the workflow enough to be or like executed it enough to actually have turned it all into YouTube videos already. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this month of stream footage that's not on YouTube yet. but um,
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing is probably just you have to watch this whole thing over again.
that's the worst part.
Like
That's why I'm
to
starting
pick
to do it differently.
to pick that 3-minute piece that you will eventually make into a video. I mean, you have to find it in there. It's like,
That's the worst part. Listening back to your own stuff that's like
yeah.
hours long.
Tell me about
So
it.
from now on, I'm planning to not only record locally. I was afraid that it would like, affect the stream quality or something. Or I also don't know what I'm gonna do with all the storage for the videos, but I'm gonna start recording locally. And on top of that, I think I'm gonna make notes during the stream of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I should
I was
turn
just gonna
into a video.
suggest that you could like, if you
Yeah.
think that you were talking about something incredibly useful, you just make a time, like a time signal, like a marking or something, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
you find that.
I should
So
have been doing more of that a long time ago.
yeah, yeah. So not to like watch those 8 hours of your crazy marathons
Yeah.
and. So what does your family think about this? Your like, what do they think about your transition from like a regular job? Is it a big thing in Canada? Because like I know back home, like a lot of people are very conservative, and if you tell them
hmm
that you're gonna quit your job and you do this, like become a
It's like
streamer.
that here too. It's like that here too, but every family does have their own culture sometimes,
Mhm.
like in a way. Where like my mom, for example, like my family is particularly like, pursue your dreams, like do whatever you want that makes you happy, that kind of family. So I'm lucky in that regard, because I didn't have to deal with like the harsh criticism or like, I'm disowning you or whatever. Like who knows what some people have to deal with, right? I would say most of my friends probably have to, not necessarily getting disowned or something, but it's hard to get into some career that's super like iffy like that. Iffy is an understatement, right?
Yeah, a little
Yeah. Any
bit.
any kind of any kind of streaming or YouTube career already is. I think YouTube careers actually are very much established by now, but most people haven't caught up with like the way they view this kind of thing. Um, but
Yeah,
YouTube, so many people are starting YouTube channels. Like it's incredible how many people are just jumping on that bandwagon because they're realizing like being able to have a job that's like scalable, where the amount of time you put in doesn't keep increasing with like your earnings keep increasing, but the time you put in doesn't. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not even
So
necessarily the streaming itself, because like I think right now the attitude is in the world is changing
it's go right.
about
Yeah.
stream. It's go, yeah. It's because streaming. A lot of people now realize that you can be a very successful. You can make a very successful career as a, I don't know, as a TikTok content creator, as a YouTube channel owner, as a streamer. You can make a lot more than anyone having a regular job. But yeah, that slash go teacher.
Yeah, super super niche. Um, and as a content creator, what you should do actually is sort of build up your audience in a way that they can be elsewhere besides just YouTube, like a Discord server, for example, right, or a mailing list. It's important to do those things because what if like Twitch or something ceases to exist, or everybody leaves it, and then what are you going to do? So, same thing with like income streams. We're getting into probably too much of like content creator talk maybe, but uh I've been studying up on content creation careers for a long time from like YouTube channels, and usually they suggest to build up many streams of income along the way too, like sponsorships and like this and that merch and affiliate marketing, whatever you can do, right? um and like with Go, you have, let's say Guojuan's like Internet Go School or
Hmm.
things like that. Those are good, right? Because people, from what I know, right, people would sign up. It's like a subscription, and you just done the you've done the amount of work you want to do on the website, and maybe you have some like upkeep on it. But as more people join that website, you're not increasing how much work you do, so it's scalable. So that's a really good type of way to earn from Go, I would say.
And also like
Um,
things like what is it called, Baduk Pop, right?
mhm.
Like creating this
Apps,
app.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, apps,
yeah,
which is it's a really cool app, and it's also it's a very, it's maybe labor intensive at first, but then after you've done a certain amount of work, it's you don't have to like be a teacher and like do this. Like, would you be okay doing this, what you're doing right now, for like, I don't know, for the next 20 years?
yeah, yeah. I would be happy if I could just keep doing this, and as the world changes, right? I'll be just I have my mind on that for like if you need to pivot or like start up another platform or whatever. But I doubt that this kind of thing is going away anytime soon. Um, yeah.
All right, that's really cool. I mean, I was just yeah, I was hoping you'd say that you're gonna be okay with this, and you wouldn't say that. Yeah, I'm thinking of giving up.
No, 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 no. In fact, I even want to try dipping my hands in like gaming later on. Basically, insofar as I wouldn't have to decrease my go. Like when I get more efficient, right, and things are built up well, good
Gaming as a
systems in place.
streamer as well.
Street gaming, yeah, gaming's like just like other games, right? Like other types of games. Not like necessarily shogi and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
I was
but
gonna say
talking,
chess, shogi. Yeah,
actual game like like esports and adventure games and
sure. Yeah.
Pokemon and whatever, right? Among Us. I like playing Among Us.
Hmm.
So, um I want to dip my hands in that later on as like part of my end game when I could like actually feasibly do it without hurting my Go content, like putting out less Go content. Because efficient, like as a couple years from now, I should be able to manage at least a little bit of that, and then I can pull people. Like one of the things I want to do is pull people from other scenes into Go, right, and give them exposure to Go. And one of the best ways to do that is to make a real place for yourself in those other scenes, right? And I know other Go creators probably are already thinking to do like chess and shogi and stuff like collabs and dip their hands in that. But I wanna. Most people don't think it would work, right? Mixing Go with like PC games and stuff. But I want to try.
It's
I want to
hard.
try.
I mean, I haven't been thinking about this, but yeah, it's. I mean, it just sounds like your life gets completely exposed. Like you are always like almost always you're live. Like you're teaching live. You have your Patreon, and like you do those streaming marathons, and then even your spare time when you should be like your time for yourself, and you're still kind of doing it live for people. You're playing games, so
Yeah,
it's
I mean, you think that like when something becomes your job, you start liking it less or whatever, right? That's always the fear maybe or the risk, but I haven't reached that yet. I still, and if anything, I'm loving what I'm doing more as time goes on because like streaming is getting more fun as your community gets more like strong and bigger and you get more used to streaming with every stream and you have events and stuff that are really fun. So it's just been getting more fun. I guess the challenges have been increasing.
mhm.
You get more patrons, you get more like students, and you open up more
Responsibility.
things like leagues and stuff. Yeah, like uh BenKyo League by itself, which is like a thing through Patreon, is already a lot of like things to think about that I never expected. All these like problems that need solving and stuff and improvements. Like I never expected any of it. It's a lot, but it's fun.
Yeah, but it's I mean it's all in a day's work. It's just
Yeah,
keep one step at a time. Hey, before I have a few more blitz questions for you, but before that, you just told me that you sign up on Go Magic, and I
yeah,
wanted to since just to use this chance to show you around, maybe show you what courses specifically, which I'll give you
for
access to
sure.
later.
Yeah,
Which courses specifically could be interesting, maybe even for someone like you. So
right. Yeah,
let
yeah,
me
yeah.
show you around real quick
Go for it.
for like a minute. So let
Yeah,
me
I remember
go.
I looked at it myself, some time back, right? And it was really cool because I just clicked around. I was curious, and like the lecture or like the lesson videos, you can actually like click on them to interact with them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For some of them, I don't know if it's all of them, but
Not
I
all of
remember.
them. The first ones are not like this, but then at somewhere after the first maybe three courses, we came
Yeah,
up with this idea that hey, we need to make this interactive. Like people, I should be able to ask a question like in the middle of a lesson, like hey, now stop, like, and not to do it like in most YouTube videos you'll see it like stop the video right now, stop it, pause the video, think about it, then click play. But I didn't want to do it
hmm.
like this, so I wanted it to just it will stop by
I didn't know
itself.
you could do it like how you're doing it. I didn't know that was even possible.
Yeah, it turns out it is. So let me show you around. Oh wait, where is it? Let me find it. Right, can you see it now? Yeah.
Yeah, let me double click on your.
You can't see. Wait, you can't.
There
People
we go.
can't see you, but that's okay for just a
Hmm.
second. So here's all of the courses. Some of them are not yet available. Like for example, the one about Kajiwara Takeo, which is going to be like a massive course for with like 17 lessons or something. It's still in being filmed, and it will take probably a while because it's huge. So what could be interesting for someone as strong as you is, first of all, there's a course called, so there's it starts like very simple with rules and fundamentals. This is for like complete beginners. But
Hmm.
this one right here, the Magic of Go Complete Edition, that's something that we started off as like a YouTube video series, and then it just kind of turned into a course. And this one is a collection of incredible things, like things you've never probably seen before, unless you are a Go researcher. It's just
Right.
a collection of like peculiar and like crazy tidbits
Oh
from
man,
all over the place.
that'll be
And
the day when we have Go researcher as a like a profession in North
yeah,
America
yeah. So I mean,
or
some of those
in
things,
the
and
West.
I mean, for me, those things were like, this is what makes the game even more exciting than it already is. So and I put them all together, and then and there you go. And most of these are actually free, like they're free for everybody, so anybody can watch them. They're free on YouTube. And only the last four lessons are. I mean, they're not even lessons. They're just videos that talk about something specific. The last four videos are these four, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're only for those who purchased the course. But yeah, even the first seven are enough to check it out.
Hmm.
And then what could be also interesting in terms of like in terms of self-improvement, not just in terms of like video and editing and stuff like that, but this one, this is probably the most advanced course we have from Alexander Dinnerstein. Proby moves.
Hmm.
Wait,
Yeah,
not about Proby moves. I mean, Proby moves is amazing too,
they're
but
hard to get right.
probably, yeah, they're hard to get right, and especially there are a lot of examples that are just so above my head. Like you look at those things and you see that, okay, so like Katamasao played this move, but hey, like there's no way in the world that I could ever find this. But this one, however, and I've talked about this multiple times, is very very inspirational because it has so many examples. Like it has like 15 lessons here about all. So this is like your complete encyclopedia of attachments. Like
Mm,
anything you ever wanted to know about attachments, it's probably in this course. It's and of course a lot of things for an 8 dan for an 8 dan fox as that you are. A lot of things are probably you know already, but there are definitely quite a few things that are going to be very
mhm.
very like still very inspirational. And when you see them, you'll be like, oh, I didn't know that was possible.
For sure, for sure.
I should try this in my games. And then of course we have two historical courses which are okay for anybody. That's why we have like where are they? So the Fury of Joa and the Blood Vomiting Game, and Huanglongshi, the Legend of Blood and Tears. Those are like it's said here that it's for levels 2, 3, 4, which means that it's pretty much for anybody unless they're a complete beginner. So
Right.
for everyone else, all the way from like 10Q to I don't know 7 dan, it's cool because it's not about teaching anybody Go. It's about telling a story. It's just a whole story from that era. And if you're not very well familiar with the story behind and around the blood vomiting game, for example, then it's a pretty cool story to look at. And then maybe I'll recommend, and probably the most technically advanced course we have is if you ever wanted to just see how we edit things and what we progressed into, is the typical mistakes 2.0. This is the last course we made, and it took like half a year. And this course is probably the most visually like visually cool, and like the best quality. This is the best stuff we currently we currently have. So that's something to look into. All right, let me go back to um let me go back to a regular screen.
Pretty awesome.
Okay.
Looks really professional, well put together.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should look at all of this, but like you could check out like one lesson from here, one lesson from there,
Yeah,
just
for
to
sure.
see
I'll
what
let
you.
you know too. I'll
Oh
DM
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
my.
Some feedback would be very, very, very appreciated because like we get a lot of positive feedback, but maybe from a stronger player as yourself, we could also get some criticism, which is very, very helpful always to keep
I can
improving.
let you know like how helpful certain videos were for me and stuff like that.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah. That sounds cool. That sounds cool. Huangshi course will make you cry for real, says Mike. Is it?
Yeah, Longshi is one of those those Go legends that I actually don't know much about, but I've heard the name many times. I need
Yeah,
to
and it was my. I mean, we
add
we
to
have a
my
lot
Go
of
history.
ideas for future historical courses, but first off, we don't know if it's going to be like fun for people. I mean, it's fun, but it's not educational. It's not really. It doesn't really teach you Go. So, is it worth
Yeah, it's for like Go
investing a lot of
enthusiasts.
time and money into making a course that doesn't really teach you Go? So it's a
Probably just here
balance.
and there. You can
Yeah,
have like that series that has like a few videos already in it maybe, and then just slowly but surely you like add one. But you're right, like I think the other ones are higher priority, right?
yeah. Oh, Buzzsaw is saying one of my games is supposed to be in the video, and I need to find it. Buzzsaw, your
Ooh.
game is yes, your game is in the last is in the last lesson in the typical mistakes 2.0. In the very last lesson, it's called sente, the power of sente or something. The last lesson, and that's where your game is. 100
You know what would be
Huangshi.
interesting? Uh, I just thought of this. I have to interject. The power of like gote, because it would be fun to uh, flip it in a way. Because the reason I thought of this is because a lot of especially like SDK players, right? When they start learning all about like sente, right?
Yeah,
It they sometimes exaggerate it and then they play like way too much sente and they leave a trail of like weaknesses in their
yeah,
wake and
yeah.
then
I
so
and I mean it's I think everybody's even like I'm sure I'm guilty of this even these days. I know like sometimes I get so much into this sente
mhm.
chase, trying to play and look for sente all the time, that my position gets overextended for sure. And
Right, yeah.
my
You
teacher
need the
in China,
balance.
like always told me this, that I should like you should play like attack. You should like play active, but then you go back and defend once.
Yeah, it's this back and forth,
Yeah. It's back and
area.
forth. Like you keep attacking and then you go back. If you
You can
always
liken
keep
it to, like,
moving
martial
forward,
arts or something, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the way he said it, it sounded so simple. And then he was not just saying it. He was using that in his games, and it worked. It looked very very simple. Like everything he did was just like, yeah,
It always
this
does, right?
it does.
It
Yeah,
always
it looks
does.
so like I could play this anytime, and of course you can't. So,
Yeah. That's
let me
yeah.
ask you a couple of blitz questions, as like
Mhm.
last second questions, and then we can move on to playing that something that we're gonna
Something
play.
fun.
So, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite Go master?
Yi Chang-ho.
Lee Chang Ho. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, so I first started thinking about him because my own first teacher, my friend Jeffrey, his favorite player was Lee Chang-ho, and he was, very enthusiastic about that, I think. And then so that made me pay attention to Lee Chang-ho, but I did pay attention to some others too. But Lee Chang-ho also resonated me with his style because he plays super calm. He's like the Stone Buddha, right?
Yeah.
And he just has this style where like I've seen so many of his games and which is why I like to suggest his games to students of mine and friends of mine, especially when they're like SDK or maybe even strong DDK or sometimes even lower down. But anyone especially who needs to simplify their play a little bit more,
You,
go
ju-
back to basics kind of.
you just
Yeah.
answered my next question, because I was going to ask you, like, if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey Ben, can you recommend a professional to so that I could look at his games?" Who would you
Hmm.
recommend? And you say, "Well, it's the same."
His play, especially, I would recommend specifically from the 80s to about 2000, but also after that should be fine too. But he dominated. He stood at the top of Go for I think 15 and a half years straight, something like that. If you check that, that YouTube video that shows the historical ratings of the
Yeah,
players, and it goes by, yeah. I'm pretty sure Yi Cheng Ho was like 15 years or 15 and a half years, which is ridiculous, right?
yeah.
Probably until close to 2000, something like that.
Especially
And
considering that his style is so unimpressive. Like when you look at his games, it's
right,
just so like it's so unflashy. It
yeah, exactly.
seems like
And
nothing
which
is happening.
most people's favorites would, if not something like that, it would be like a flashier player, maybe Lee Sedol or someone like that, right?
Yeah. Like
Um,
Takemiya, with his
Takemiya, yeah, Takemiya. And that's actually he's an example I like to use when I talk about why professionals and the way they say this too, like how Michael Redman says this, for example, how professionals and also AI, they tend to like points, right? Like, there's times in every game where you should build moyo, you should do this and that, but like corners, corner territory. So Takemi is the exception, right? So he made a style work that was absolutely, uncorner friendly, right? Um, and so that's part of why he's so famous because actually apparently he never called his own go cosmic. He even like sort of I don't know if he like hated it or anything, but apparently from what I've read online, he didn't really like it when people called it cosmic because to him it's just natural.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
feel like
so
cosmic is just a clickbait term that people
yeah,
that people
exactly.
invented just to
Exactly.
make it. But it sounds so cool, isn't it? I mean, if you just call it like influence go, doesn't it sound kind of lame? I
Yes.
mean, influence
Yeah.
go. Who cares about influence go? But we all love cosmic go. Cosmic go
Yeah.
is amazing. And, so my next couple of questions are probably something that we have to go to OGS for.
Mhm.
Like I was going to ask you what your favorite joseki is, if you have one.
Mm.
Do you have a favorite like a
I can come
joseki
up
that?
with answers for this. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we go to OGS? Do you open a demonstration and just give me a link?
Yeah, yeah, I can do that. Sure.
All right.
So, and you can even pass me control, right? So I can click it through like live.
Well,
But
if
yeah, I'm
you
gonna.
if you if you open it, then you're gonna be in control anyway. I'm just gonna be looking.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So here's the link. True. Let me get to our conversation. Okay, here you go.
got it.
Okay.
Wait, let me open it in the right window somewhere.
My answers for this are probably pretty boring though.
Mike, is it Firefox or Chrome? Okay. Um, can I open a new window? Okay, like a new tab.
Thinking, what are my?
Wait a sec. Wait a sec. And let me now open it on OBS. I think it should be like this. Wait, it's not the right window. Mike, can you help me with this? How do
It's
I
okay. I'm
change?
I'm still thinking about my answers.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Take your time. Take your time. Because like people can still see the this other game.
Hmm. My answers might be pretty boring.
But also we're gonna play a game after this. So
Yeah, the Blitz, right?
so they have to see that game as well. Do I have to call you as well for that? Okay. I have our editor Mike, who's like is my uh computer guy for this because like I'm too busy talking and asking and like listening to your answers. So I can't like if something doesn't work, I'm like it doesn't work.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is it on? That's the board, right? Yeah, I think we can see the board. I think we can. Yeah, yeah. I think we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Have you come up with
Okay.
any?
So
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
my this is gonna be a very, very boring answer, but I'm
N-
gonna start with this
No, no, no,
one.
no. That's fine. That's fine. Come on.
Now, for the record,
Okay.
this would have been my answer pre-AI.
Okay.
And I just really like the territory and all the different things you can do against white in the future, including, if white does this one too. You can PPR or you can Tanuki or play normally, and then there's all the stuff inside here, right? Um, now, something that used to be my favorite, a little bit more interesting, that I used to play, especially when I was mid dan, and
Hmm.
a bit also when I was. So when I returned, I didn't really mention the whole Korea thing when I trained in South Korea,
Oh, you didn't. You
and
didn't. And I didn't ask because I didn't know.
that's okay. Oh, okay, okay. Well, I don't need long, right? But just like after high school, instead of going to university, I got this opportunity from a PDF that James, the president of the CGA, sent me. And he sent me it, but he's like, "Oh, it's probably too late, but you can apply." And then I applied, and I got a reply the next day.
Wow.
uh, like which I checked on a computer at school, and I got to go to Korea and pay basically almost no money for it, because it was like a scholarship thing. They're trying to get people from like one person from many countries to get serious training, basically like pro training. They're literally like trying to raise up a foreign pro, kind of like a homegrown foreign pro,
Speaking once
basically.
again of how lucky you are.
Exactly, right? There were some people that actually were, like, upfront with me about being jealous about that because they didn't get to. Like, maybe they applied after me or something, or
Right.
I don't know. Most people didn't know about this opportunity, I just happened upon it. So I was there for 5 months. I went there as about Canadian 3 Dan. They wanted people to be already, 1 Dan at least when they go.
Hmm.
Um, and it was cool because I got to spend time with people from all over the world, like Mongolia, Czechia, Italy, like just that's where I met Mateusz Surma, by the way. You
Oh,
know
okay.
him, right? He was a kiddo, and he joined after me actually. And he was stronger than me when he first got there, but probably not like that much. Probably
And
like 1 stone or a stone and a half at most.
and then he became a pro. I
Then
mean,
he's like super monster now, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. That's where I met him. What was I saying? So I returned from Korea as a Canadian 5 Dan.
5 months.
Maybe
5
a
months in Korea.
stronger,
Five done.
yeah,
Okay.
5 months for maybe 2.5 stones, something like that. Um, but it's Dan level stones, so it's funny though because my
Those are the
friends
precious
were
stones. Yeah, those are not those. Yeah, the Q stones you can sometimes, yeah, you can get stronger overnight, but the done level stones, yeah, those are
and
really really hard.
my friends, like the ones you guys saw in some of those photos, like the team tournament and stuff,
Hmm.
they're making fun of me too because uh for some of them, like I still wasn't strong enough to beat them or to beat them like consistently or whatever. So then they're just always making fun of me, saying I came back weaker. So one of the moves that I studied a lot at that time that actually was so we were studying new moves and joseki and stuff that like they were getting popular at that time, right?
Hmm.
This was 2009 that I was in Korea, and during that, at that time, or maybe like a few years before that, this pincer was one of the many
Oh
moves
yeah,
that,
that was, yeah, it was like about 10 years ago. Yeah, this was really really
at
really
least,
popular. Yeah, this
yeah,
was,
and there's a few other moves we studied too that were going through popularity. The
and then
teacher
white
was
would
Kim Sone.
attach, white would attach, and then there's going to be this
Yeah,
inside hane.
there, so there's this one that this one's even older, I think. That a lot of people know, especially for Dan level. Then you often know this one, like here, and then you gotta save those 2 black stones. So you gotta make these exchanges, and then white goes here, and black usually just takes this. And there's a bunch of variations, right? There's also
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
but this
where,
this is the most classic one where
yeah.
both players get influence on like both sides.
Now at that time though, this was already unpopular, and the ones we were learning were with this one and this one.
I thought you were gonna mention the jump because I think when I was in China, everyone was playing the jump here instead of the
Like
hane.
this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this is a bit more recent, I think, than this one.
yeah,
So after this one, then people started to do this, and then we got into like for example, this kind of variation
yeah, yeah.
and this kind of variation,
Which is
etc.
something you never see these days. By the way, if somebody
Right.
started playing Go a couple of years ago, there's a good chance that they never saw this.
And AI actually, I noticed that they actually want to go here, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I remember that.
But
Yeah.
anyway, this pincer tends to. I did find cases where AI agreed with me to play here, but almost never. In fact, even in the cases where you would think the pincer is good, AI still wants to attach,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
when it feels like you're undercutting yourself down below.
This attachment is
Uh,
like the only move that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was
Almost,
also,
yeah, exactly.
and somebody's saying, a buck kitten is saying that it really did feel comfy. It really did feel comfy for black even before AI.
Yeah,
That corner attachment. Yeah, it feels very nice. Black gets a very very comfortable corner of like 14 points, and yeah. But I
and it's
mean,
nice that it feels like white, doesn't want to let you go here. Although I would probably just be more aggressive like this, but, you can connect, right, if
yeah.
you
But
can.
this move looks so good. Like,
Right.
uh yeah,
So, I started playing that so much even when I came back from Korea because I was so studied on all the ins and outs of, I mean, not just, like, classic stuff
yeah.
like
This one, oh,
here
this looks so slow.
but, there's like variations of this where white like starts here and
Yeah,
then
and then
like there's something with
attachment.
this
Yeah, yeah,
and this thing. Yeah. And then there's of course there's the one where you put a stone here and then you'd be peeping there.
yeah. I
And
don't
then
think I remember all of these. Like I remember that I played them at the time, but it's been like so many years that I hardly remember all of the variations here. I guess you
so
studied them more in depth.
I played this so much that
Yeah.
people started calling it the Benser.
The pincer.
Yeah. People I know, they would still remember too. Like they everyone was calling it the Benser. I remember my Thai friend in Korea. I think they might have even started calling. I think the reason my Toronto friends called it the Benser is because I think it was called that first when I was in Korea already. Like one of the people there started calling it the Benser, and it might have been
Sounds very
Scott.
aggressive, Benzer.
Yeah. So apparently, according to my Thai friend who was one of the students there, it means something really funny in Thai, like maybe like poop or something. I don't know. So yeah. So this was my favorite move, right? It's a bit more interesting than this one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. This is like so. I mean, I know that the AI is recommending this, but I just feel it's so unexciting when you play this. I mean,
it is, yeah.
I almost feel like I should stop playing this high approach because of that. Because I know I'm gonna get this attachment, and I'm gonna have to play that joseki. Either that or the avalanche, which I'm not sure
You
I
want to
want to.
know why? So I think I might be on point with my reason for sometimes choosing this, which I usually don't. I usually go here. But AI seems to agree with me very like shockingly often when I've chosen this. So I think that my reasoning, this is probably the only thing where I figured out AI's reasoning and maybe I didn't. Uh but it's when you want, so when black, let's say, has something here, right? Some kind of position here.
Hmm.
I'll just put whatever, right? There's cases where you don't want to give them an easy time building it up, like with this kind of move, because
Right.
this move, later on they can press it and just build easily, especially if you Tanuki, then there's pincer, but there's also press, right? So
Sure. Yeah.
just that shape in general is very sort of conducive to building this, right?
Yeah.
So in those cases, let's just say that that potential is a significant factor on the current board position, then you would go high because they usually don't want to do one of these kind of moves anyway.
And
Um,
this is actually one of my favorite moves. This attachment that you just showed.
I
Yeah.
like it too, actually. It's not played as much now, but
And that's
it does a
exactly why I
really,
like it.
yeah, it does a really good job of emphasizing the top side.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
And sometimes the top is just chunky enough to go for this like
And especially
legitimately,
if I
right?
had some sort of position that you just showed
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
top already, and white
You
approaches like
probably
this.
should. You probably should have something there, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, of course, if there's white stones up there, then it makes no sense to attach like this. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it looks very nice. Yeah, and it's also complicated. It's a
And
lot. It's a lot more complicated
complicated.
too.
Yeah, because if white goes here, there's even a ladder involved, right? From this, there's gonna be some ladder stuff, I believe. Like,
Yes. Grooven Royven just subscribed. Thank you.
I haven't studied this in a while, but I believe that white's even supposed to have the ladder to even go here. There could be an AI update also though.
Because there's going to be a push, right?
There's
If
gonna be the push
the
and
push and the
then
cut, yeah.
yeah, and probably something from here. Like
Yeah, yeah. I'm not fairly
maybe
confident that
something like
I,
this.
yeah.
Could be something like this, where it's a double threat kind of thing.
Yeah. Double ladder.
Or it could be something else that I'm forgetting, but there's something ladder related. Um, yeah, that's a pretty cool, I mean, I have moves that I like, which I play too much basically. Like, when you attach on the second line, like let's say, what would be a good example position? Like when there's a stone somewhere on the third line, like on a side somewhere,
Yeah.
and then let's say that black has
Oh,
some kind of
the
like relatively
S8? The
solid.
S8 attachment? Oh, I mean the S10? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like sometimes there's cases which we would need to set up more stones, but where you're trying to over concentrate them, like something like
I
this.
think you have a video about this on your YouTube channel, right?
Not about this specifically, but it might mention in one of the videos.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But this attach under, especially in the case where maybe they played a move like this or this to where like they can't actually choose this one.
Yeah.
Um, then sometimes I like to use it, especially if I feel that they're gonna end up over concentrated.
Yeah, because
But
they're
it's a move that can be overused though.
yeah, it's gonna end up like it's a very nice sente move because if they don't defend, then you will destroy the whole shape.
It's also a good sabaki move, right? Like if you're lonely and under attack and kind of surrounded, sometimes you use that kind of move
Yeah, and
to
attach on
build
top.
shape
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. Hmm.
yeah, if they take it, then you get all the forcing moves. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Looks really cool.
So
Hey, do you ever play? Okay, maybe final question here. Do you ever play as like as a teacher and as someone who's trying to have a very consistent playing style? Do you ever play trick moves like hamate?
um I
Specifically, like when you know it's a trick move and you're just playing it because you hope that your opponent is gonna fall into the trap and you're gonna win the game right there.
I'm one of those people that don't really look down on trick moves. I think anything there's a lot of things that could be called a trick that aren't actually called trick moves, right? Like there's a lot of things you can do in a game that are kind of a trap of sorts that, they're just as much a trap as any trick joseki, but trick joseki get a bad rep from some people, right? Well, at least not recommended to use them. And I do think that you shouldn't you should play around with them because you can learn from them and like what you said, you can use them as a secret weapon to win a tournament or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that. Like back in the day, right? If you read up on like if you read Invincible or if you read up on those things, they're always preparing secret special moves like a secret taisha variation or a special like inside cut in the corner or something that
yeah,
just
yeah,
accomplishes that they get one more point or something like
yeah.
um or they
Yeah,
make a ko. That's always been like there's nothing wrong with pulling out surprises against your opponent, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
So
if you always play that kind of attachment, like you just showed me first,
ooh,
that
it's the audio is kind of messing up for me actually.
is it on your end or on my end?
Oh, you were a robot, but now you're not a robot.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's only my end, yeah. Okay. So sorry, can you reiterate?
No, I'm just saying if you only play that simple like attachment move and you only play the simplest joseki, then like essentially you're saying, okay, I'm strong to win without
Is on
any
my
of
end,
these
okay.
like any of these tricks. I can play a very simple game and like still outplay the
Um,
opponent.
I think you get to like once you get to certain levels, the tricks just kind of don't work anyway. I mean, there are still some tricks that work at my level, and above my level even, I think, but a lot of them don't. Like a lot of the tricks that are you find in books a lot and stuff that we just people just know them already. So if the trick does lead to a bad result when punished, then eventually too many people punish it correctly and you just don't want to do it anymore, right?
Hmm.
Um, what rank is BenKyo?
Yeah, BenKyo is
So Fox 8, OGS 6 maybe if my OGS is correct. Canadian 5.
yeah, yeah, and I've noticed that even like on my level with the Fox Dijum 6 Duns, if I play a Taisha variation, there's a very good chance that that they don't know or they never played it. If I play the very standard sequence, maybe they're going to be okay. But if I play something not typically out of the book, then ooh,
Hmm.
it could get messy and they can easily
Especially if
lose
you're
the game
behind
there.
too. I mean, if you're especially in a game, if you're behind, you should do whatever you can to win. I'm a big proponent of like going out with a bang rather than losing peacefully. Like just if you know you're gonna lose, why like just I mean, it's fun to it can be nice to minimize the margin of defeat sometimes, but I don't think the margin of victory or defeat even really matters. Like for example, I have many experiences where I'd be playing a casual game at a Go Club or something with a friend, and they'd be like 1 dan and I'd be like 5 dan.
Hmm.
And then I would only win by like 5 points sometimes if they played really well. But I knew I was gonna win by that, right? And then it's like if we play 20 games and I win all 20, then it doesn't matter how close the games seem to be,
Yeah, but
right?
it's also like for those people, it's not just. I mean, this is Anton's philosophy. Anton is my partner in Go Magic, and it's not really what I necessarily think when I'm playing a game, but he thinks that it's very important if you're playing someone stronger and you know you're gonna lose, but at least try to keep the margin as small as possible, right? If I'm gonna play against like Ryan Lee, right, and I know I don't have a single chance, but if I can lose to him by less than 10 points, I can think that I played a good game. If I get
Mm.
destroyed, if I get like wiped out and one of my group dies and it's just a disaster, then well, probably something went wrong.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it depends what your priorities are. So like if you want to if you're thinking about like how good am I going to feel about the game after the game, right? Then that could be the reason. If you want experience against their end game, right? Then making sure the game continues, that could be another reason to do the same thing. But if you think that there's still a lingering chance of victory, and that's your most important, you'd rather take that chance than to, have a sure defeat, then you can take that chance. So there's like three angles at least, right? Funny enough, you mentioned Ryan Lee because it's funny. I'm a friend of his, and I always thought, like, when I look at myself from his point of view, I always figured he probably thinks I'm like he knows what my rank technically is, but I have this feeling that he probably thinks I'm like weaker than that because every time I play him, I take the approach of like all or nothing because
Makes sense.
I don't have to. I could play him normally, right? And I kind of want to get another chance at that, but uh not that I would have a chance to win actually, but I tried to give myself a chance to win in a tournament by playing really unusual and even trying to start this big dogfight right in the beginning that's going to wipe one of us out. Because you see, if you watch him and any other content creator on YouTube like Haley, Ryan
Yeah,
Lee, Yunwoo, if you watch any of them, you see that sometimes they mess up big,
yeah,
and
yeah. And
even against like a Gen 5 den or something.
you know that it's gonna if it's gonna be a peaceful game, then they will win on class just because they have a deeper
So
understanding. But if you manage to drag them into this dogfight,
yeah. I was trying to fish for a mistake, right? So, I went like totally berserk on him, and so he and some of my moves were really, really like, Q or even DDK looking like bad shape, trying to kill kind of things, right? That almost clearly wouldn't work, but I just kept trying because I already knew I lost too many points anyway to stop. So, uh, the next time I get a chance in an even game with him, like a tournament or something, I'll try to play normally and produce a nice game record. But it's funny, yeah.
yeah,
He probably thinks I'm like a fake 5 den, like I'm like 1 den.
yeah, I was trying to keep track of time here. I was looking at the clock and I was like, oh yeah, it's still nice. We're 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then suddenly I look at the clock and I see that we've been talking for like
Yeah, we should
two
play, right?
hours. We should probably play a game. Yeah, everyone's been like, game, 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 game.
Game,
It's like,
game.
it's,
It's nice that they picked Blitz then, right? Because it's perfect now.
yeah, it is perfect. I mean, for any other option, I was thinking maybe if it's gonna be like a regular game, God forbid, but maybe we could play like a 13 by 13. I was thinking, but with this, we could probably even go 19 by 19. What do you think?
Yeah, up to you, up to you. Either is fun for me. What does chat think? 13 by 13 or 19 by 19? I'm
Uh,
gonna do a quick washroom break, okay?
sure. And we're gonna
Um,
run a poll. Mike, let's do a poll. 13 by 13 Ultra Blitz or 19 by 19 Ultra Blitz. Typical Blitz questions from Vadim. Yeah, typical Blitz questions that are like, um, okay, I'm gonna be alone for a second. Yeah, typical. I always say Blitz is gonna be like a few Blitz questions. Like it's supposed to be, like rat tat 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 Blitz, like all in 2 minutes. But then it's dragged on to I don't know 20 minutes or something. I think we don't even have to do the poll. Everyone's saying 19. Come on, 19. It is. We've never played a 19 game here on stream. Mike, do I have to get another board on the screen again? Because now it's going to be the same one from before. I just challenged him. Okay. So yeah, Ultra Blitz is going to be. I mean, I think we can maybe even play a couple of games, kid. Because I'm so sure that with Ultra Blitz, the only time I played this was with Gooplet. I was on Gooplet, and which is also, by the way, another person who I also want to talk to on stream. Oh, Ben is back. Uh, there you go. Yes, yeah. I was just saying that I played those like Bullet Blitz games only like once. I was on Gooplet's stream, and she showed me what this was. And she's like, "Hey, Vadim, do you want to play?" And I was like, "Sure, let's do it." And she's like a 4Q, and I'm like, "Whatever." and then we played, and I think I lost like all 3 or 4 of them. We played like in rapid succession,
That happened to
and
me
I was
too.
like, "What is happening? How am I
That
losing
happened to
to?"
me too. Yeah, I lost one or two to Sophia the Knife on one of my streams, and she's 2K OGS. So yeah, Blitz is hard.
It is,
Um,
and she's really good. Yeah, she just. I mean, she's making mistakes. You could tell. I mean, I could like my brain, my conscious brain is telling me that's a mistake. You can punish it, but I'm like,
yeah.
I have 3 seconds on the clock. I can't even think of anything. So how many seconds should we do it? What from your experience? What is like a possible?
So 10 seconds is not hyper blitz,
No,
it's
no, no,
just
no,
blitz.
no. 10 seconds is too
Um,
slow. Way too slow.
so like five,
5, right? 5. Okay.
5 or 6.
Maybe a couple of like 3 periods.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, 5 seconds, 3 periods, or maybe 6 seconds. Is it too slow?
I don't know. Let's try 5 seconds first game, and then I probably
Okay.
lose on time, and then we try maybe 6 seconds the second time, or
Five
something.
seconds should be
Somebody's
long
saying
enough to.
3 seconds. Come on,
The problem with
go take a
3
hike.
seconds is we can't even move our mouse to the place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to apologize right up front. I'm not going to be able to talk probably during this game. If I open my mouth and I say something, I lose immediately. So, all right.
Me too.
What is your OGS?
BenKyo, Baduk. I'll send you the I pinned it actually the link to my profile, but
You can just tell me. I'm looking at this OGS screen.
yeah, if you type into the search BenKyo Baduk,
Okay, it should be okay, right?
yeah, it should be okay.
Ben Q. Okay, I got it. Six done, and I'm still a 3Q or something on OGS.
Well, I don't even know how accurate my OGS is anyway, so.
Yeah. So maybe we should try like a first game even, because I was thinking like if it was a regular game, I should probably ask for a couple stones handicap because you're.
Nah, even is good. Even is good.
You're
I let most of even my students and people play even because it's a nice
no. I
you
mean,
get to play a
I play my
game.
students even as well because we want to like we want to take a look at the opening. You know, the joseki.
Your Fox 6 stand, that's pretty strong. So
All right, so 19 by 19,
like I do
no
lose sometimes
handicap.
to Fox 6 stand.
Everything is automatic, and then we do no basic time. Okay, no main time. 3 periods of. Wait, how do I go less than 10? It says 10. Can I?
Oh, I hope you can. Let me try doing it myself just to see.
I think
Um,
we played it on OGS, and I'm sure Gooplet did it somehow. There's got to
I'm
be
just
a
gonna
way.
pretend I'm gonna pretend to challenge someone, and
Yeah.
I'm typing buzzsaw. Challenge.
Let me see if I can do it
Oh,
like.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay, main time none. Byoyomi live.
Wow, how did you do it? Is there like a?
There has to be a way,
I think on
but
KGS there's a way on KGS, but there's
KGS works. Yeah. I don't know if you have that set up for the stream already.
nope.
Yeah. No.
We don't. We don't. I mean I thought that OGS has everything. OGS has everything. You have to switch from
There's
live to.
always.
Oh, I have to switch to Blitz. Okay, wait a second. Wait a second.
Oh, that's its own category. Weird. Okay. Yeah. There's loopholes. There's ways.
Okay, live to Blitz. Thank you. El Pistolero 9. Thank you. And now Blitz, and I go main time none. Oh, 5 seconds. There you go. Easily, all the way up to 1 second if we wanna push it. Can you
1
imagine
second is like
1 second?
ping.
That's it's crazy. You
Yeah. Who has
probably
a better mouth?
it's humanly impossible, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to actually play in a different part of the board,
All right,
because even there's like latency sometimes too.
I'm gonna set main time to like 10 seconds just to get a start. All right, send. Oh, 9 by 9, 19 again. Whew, I think we're done. Send challenge.
Cool. All right. Are you ready?
Wait a second. Let me make sure that everyone can see the board. Can everyone see the board? No, they can't.
I almost clicked it right away.
Sorry. Yeah.
That would have been
There you
easier.
go. You can click now.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this. Yeah. I'm super nervous.
Is the board it looks a bit off?
Wait. It is off. Oh, I think when you click and the game starts, it's gonna be
Game started.
Yep, it's perfect.
Okay, we're good.
I'm black. Have a good game.
Have a nice game.
I'm not gonna type that. I'm not gonna waste my precious seconds. Okay, double Mokazushi as promised. And low approach. Okay, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Classic. I should have known.
Byoyomi 4.
4.
Right.
Okay.
Oh
3,
god, we're
2.
we're already in something more complicated.
I like this.
4.
Whew.
Mm.
God.
3.
I have a bad feeling.
4.
Wait.
3.
Is this a dead shape or something? Oh no, it's not a dead shape.
4.
Oh, come
3,
on.
2.
Kick.
1.
Yo, that Byoyomi though. Holy.
4. 3.
Ah!
2.
What?
This is already
4,
like ridiculous,
3.
right?
This is ridiculous, yeah.
With the speed.
What am I doing?
4.
Oh no, it's okay.
Oh my god, so fast. This is ridiculous. How can anyone
2. 1.
sane play on
Okay,
this setting?
This is probably the wrong shape.
4. 3.
Probably.
2.
But
1.
it's
Okay.
gonna be okay.
4.
Oh my god.
3.
This first.
No, you got to it.
4.
Yeah.
I wanted to play there.
3.
I know you did. Yeah.
2. 1. 2
Okay.
periods
2
left.
periods left. Oh, shh.
4. 3. 2.
Wait.
Last period.
Last
4,
period. No.
3.
Okay.
4. 3.
Oh wait, why didn't I haunt
2.
it? What the heck? Oh,
Yeah.
I mistook the shape.
4.
Okay.
3. 2.
Let's do something here.
4. 3.
Okay.
My
2.
shape is actually garbage.
No, I mean my shape is like the bottom right is
4,
just so terrible.
2. 1.
Oh
Kinda.
What am I doing?
White wins.
Huh?
What? How?
Huh?
What?
Wait, no, that shouldn't have been.
You played a move
No.
and it said white wins
Yeah.
immediately.
That's not my win. That's not my win. That was like that on my screen too.
And I can probably cut right now, right? Can I cut?
You can cut, yeah.
I can cut.
I have to just run with my stick. So I was banking on like because you have your bottom group's kind of weak and the middle one is too, so I can try to still run with that group that you cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a complicated fight already.
But like, let me try and do a review. I'm not sure if it's like if it's worth
Review
reviewing this,
started.
but like let's just check it out. I mean, at the very beginning, what was the proper move here? Like after this, I guess I shouldn't even try to. Maybe I should just connect. No, I mean connecting here.
You're definitely
Looks
no,
terrible.
It's probably just gonna be the jump on the fifth line.
I feel
but
like
I'm not
maybe this move. I think prediction. Oh, we had a prediction. Prediction result is Ben. So I guess it was a prediction who was going to win the game. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that is the shape move for that side. If you wanted to play on the other side, I think it would probably be the what is the intersection? KLMNO. So 05?
05, yeah, 05. This is what I played in the game, but I was like, I was one move behind.
Yeah, you're one move behind. Yeah, so it made a big difference.
Yeah, but if I start with this, then I guess you're gonna play. Are you gonna play this first?
I would ideally I would want to read it, but I don't have time to read, so I would play that. Yeah.
So you probably need to like drag me all the way here or something.
I think White's already kind of.
And then
as long as I get time to live, then.
And then once I play here, you probably need to live, right? You probably need to do this.
Yeah, I might try to bother your bottom first instead of just living, but then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have
Oh, you mean like how would you start bothering my bottom?
That sounds funny. Um, but I'd probably start. Maybe I would start with like the cut looking move, like here.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would connect.
Depending on where you play, then you're gonna fix your second line stone, right? Or
Well,
if you don't, then that means I'm alive already. So.
oh, you mean this one? No. Wait, how are you alive from here?
I think we're not synced up somehow.
Wait, let me check.
Oh, sync. I have to click sync. I hate that about OGS. Okay, no, we're on totally different page now because I
Okay.
wasn't synced.
Yeah, I was thinking that we're not seeing the same thing.
No, I was gonna do the. I need to turn my coordinates on 1 second.
Okay, because I thought when I was reviewing it and you were in the game, so I thought you were
Q3.
you were seeing
I
the
would do
same.
Q3. Yeah, I would do Q3. No, OGS is weird like that. Sometimes it just makes one of us out of sync.
Oh, Q3. Yeah, that makes sense. And then if I connect,
then I might not be able to even do it actually, but I would like to be able to play something like N3, but it might be better to just live.
oh, N3. Oh, I like that. I mean, I like it in terms of like you put that stone there, and then of course I'm gonna defend probably, and then that N3 stone is gonna just become my next prey, hopefully.
Yeah. If I can make a good exchange, it could be worth.
But I mean,
otherwise...
with 5 seconds on the clock, I don't know how to defend against this. I mean, there's got to be a
yeah.
Like,
yeah, I would be banking on a mistake there.
Is that like yeah? Is that like is this shape? It looks pretty bad.
Probably the N4.
N4. Yeah, N4 is my first instinct, but I'm thinking
It has problems
does
when
it?
white is at M4, but if I don't have time to do that, then it's different.
Okay.
It's complicated, right? So yeah.
It is. Yeah. Okay, that was a quick game. Let's try one more time. Let's try.
Yeah.
Let's try maybe 6 seconds or something.
I hope this time it's not white plus latency.
Yeah. Let's hope not. So I'm gonna go again. Same thing. This time it's 6 seconds. Who's gonna win next time? Come on, predictions.
Chat is saying Masco is saying use Fisher, but Fisher is gonna quickly turn into like not hyper blitz, right? Because it's gonna keep increasing.
Yeah, because we're gonna play the first moves quickly, and then we'll get some time. So yeah, this one is more fun. I'm gonna be probably losing more games on time for sure, because I know I'm just so terrible at this, but it's fun. It's still like fun. It's adrenaline.
Yeah, it's exhilarating.
Driven, yeah. So is it?
That's how I felt when I did a blitz stream.
Challenge. Okay. Whew.
All right, ready?
Come on. Yes.
Game started.
Oh, I'm black again. Thank you. Oh, that's probably because I'm a weaker 3Q. And they give me black every time. All
I'm
right.
not gonna play all my opening moves the same.
Okay, I'm gonna do the diagonal opening this time.
Okay.
And let's try something.
Okay.
Quirky.
Byoyomi. 5, 4, 3.
Okay.
5, 4, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one again. Yeah, that's the AI move. The perfect counter. Okay, are we gonna get the same joseki? And now I'm prepared. Ooh.
4.
Really?
Yeah,
3.
Okay, I like this.
Because I don't have a ladder, so I'm like, eh. Let's just go in here and
5,
have some fun.
4.
Okay, let's have some fun. Sure.
5, 4.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I don't know how to read this so quickly.
5, 4, 3, 2.
This is probably a bad mistake.
5.
I mean, case by case, but
4,
if it's just settling, I
3.
can definitely.
Yeah,
Two.
it's settling.
1.
Okay, I'm gonna Atari, which is probably still bad because I could
5,
potentially.
4, 3, 2.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that double flower.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm not sure what I like more, the double flower or
5,
your shape.
4, 3.
I
2,
mean, double flower
1.
is certainly prettier.
2 period 5.
Okay, 2 periods left.
4,
Yeah, watch
3.
your
Nice, let's do this one.
5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4,
Hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Hoi.
5,
Okay.
So-
Okay. That's what I like to see. You haven't dropped a single Vyomi. I don't like that.
4, 3,
Yeah, I'm
2.
focusing on that because, yeah,
5, 4,
probably not the best entry point, but it should be okay.
It's pretty good.
5,
Oh, okay.
4, 3. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
I don't know what to play.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Let's do this first. Probe.
5, 4, 3, 2. 5,
Okay.
4, 5,
Hmm.
4, 3, 2, 1. Last
Aya!
period.
I lost it.
5,
Ah,
4,
I mean, it could have been
3,
a worse move than that
2.
one.
okay.
That one looks okay.
I have one.
5, 4,
I have
3,
3 still. Be
2.
careful. 2 seconds left.
I can't read this.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta start.
It's a very
hyper-
bad
5,
shape there.
4,
Okay.
Oh, I also don't like giving away territory like this, so you're okay.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Your weakness is gone.
Can't read this. Cut.
What the?
5.
Okay, extend here first and then see what happens.
4,
Oh, that's probably
3,
not good, right?
2.
Okay, Atari.
5, 4,
Hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Oh, that's annoying.
5,
just
4,
buying some time.
3, 2.
I knew the day
1.
would come.
Okay. Ah.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
5, 4,
That's annoying.
3,
Okay.
5.
True debt?
Sacrifice. Oh. Okay.
4.
Okay.
Mm, yeah, maybe I
5.
should have just captured actually.
Uh-huh.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. That's a lot of beautiful shapes.
5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. White
I
wins.
couldn't think of a move. Yeah, I feel like I'm
Yeah,
losing this
sorry.
game. I feel like I'm losing this game, and I couldn't think of a move to try to get out of the slump. It's just that it's
It was not bad. I think some of the middle stuff did go well for me.
yeah. Like, I mean, this cut was probably wrong at M12. The M12
Yeah.
cut didn't do anything. I didn't have time to read it, and when I cut, I was like, okay, it's not working. It's obviously not. And then the left group, I probably shouldn't have I shouldn't have taken the double panuki, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Review
open a
started.
review.
Sure.
I'll just give quick thoughts. You can see what I'm doing.
I hope I can. Not yet, though.
Okay, you have to click the review, I think, that I made.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, so this, I mean, it does get me sente, but it is a bit, lacking.
I think the correct joseki here, since I play this like every day. The usual sequence is D4 first.
Oh, that one. You're talking about this into this.
Yeah,
into
and then
this.
Hane. Yeah. That's the
I
one the
know.
computer really likes, and it's
Yeah, I know about this one, but I've talked about it a lot. But for some reason, on a visual level, I forgot that that's for this shape. Like for some reason, I remembered it as being only 4/5 when we were playing. But then actually, this is 4/5, right? Like it turned into 4/5. So.
Yeah, it is, and I actually very much prefer the joseki that we played in the first game. If it goes like this, I think it's so much more comfortable for black if you cut right away and you allow me to connect, and then you connect and I extend, and then
Oh,
I
you're
get
talking
this.
about the fighting from the first game, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, because I couldn't see what you're doing because I have control. But yeah, this joseki, I should have just done this because this is what I usually do, and I do like it slightly better for white. Although
it is better for white, and that's why AI likes
only
it.
only
But I
yeah,
feel
only because black is a 3-5. That's
but
it.
I feel comfortable about it because of my left position. I have
Your
this.
direction makes sense. Yeah, your direction makes sense. Yeah, I don't know why I just somehow forgot that it's the right context for that. It's just weird.
I feel like this will still be an even game.
Yeah, it's everything's still fun. Even this invasion is like it's a bit early, but I'm just having fun, I guess. You did get the better result here slightly, I would say. This part though, you shouldn't. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you said. Usually you want to just go for
Atari
this.
from but I was thinking about this, but then I couldn't read it quickly enough. Usually this is the Atari, and this is the shape. But then what do we do?
The
Just connect, like Atari and
probably just
connect,
yeah. Sometimes you can consider this one, but usually just connect.
and then
But of course I might.
you probably wouldn't want to just connect at B11, right? Because this is
I
like
probably go for this. I probably go for
yeah.
this.
And this is what I was probably afraid of when I mean
Mhm.
I didn't read this whole thing, but I didn't like something like this, and I thought
That's part of why I chose this here because it seemed somehow awkward. I couldn't figure out what for you what you should do.
yeah. So I figured this I would just take the quick profit. Yeah, this is a simple option, but this would give you a very nice shape, and
Right.
it's not attackable anymore.
So the corner joseki, the AI 4/4 joseki, where black plays a nice move and you attach under like
Yeah.
this.
That one,
You
the
can
famous
use
one.
the same techniques, exactly the same.
And there, I know that there in the 4/4, this Atari that I did on the second line is
Yeah.
completely wrong. Like it's something that we never play.
I would say it's almost equally wrong here, except in the
Probably.
case where you actually can kill. Like if you had a bunch of what is it, like just a bunch of black somehow around,
Yeah,
and you can
if I
kill,
can, it's just surround the whole thing. Even though you get this one eye, but I can still kill.
because
Yeah,
it's not even an eye, right? It's like a false
a
eye,
false eye. Yeah,
so that's why you could try to kill in that case, like in general, that case, yeah. And then the rest is just this part you did misplay a little bit. You're
yeah.
supposed to
I was supposed to Hane, of course. But this is I know the joseki, but with 5 seconds, I suddenly didn't
yeah.
know the joseki.
I should probably resist. There's a ladder that I'm curious about here.
And then I would probably Hane at
Ladder works
R3.
for me. Oh, actually, so the funny thing is, right, and this is what I think most people don't know is I think you can't even attach here when I have the ladder.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I was hoping that with 5 seconds it wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, in actual
It
game, I would
wasn't going
read the
to matter.
letter. Yeah.
No, it wasn't going to matter.
There's this variation, yeah, where black attaches and then there's a double Hane. Yeah, this one.
Or there's wait, this I guess, yeah. White goes here in the case where black doesn't have the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
And then black, if black can't capture, then ooh, that's painful.
Yeah, otherwise it's usually, like this, right?
Yeah.
And here, and double Hane, and then like that.
Yeah, and
Which, although
which
do you have this?
also means a ladder, and I don't have it. So it's like it's painful all the way through, and you didn't really punish me for it.
Correct, yeah. I chose the easy 5-second blitz move. And then the rest is whatever, right?
This cut doesn't work, does it? Like
No,
I
it
mean,
doesn't.
H16. I was looking at it and I was like, no, it's just not gonna work.
Because I can play like this.
No. I mean, this cut obviously doesn't work, but I meant the H16.
Ah, this one. No, it doesn't.
You can yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, off by 1.
Damn it.
But yeah, you still technically had a chance of like to like if you're a bit behind right now, you have a chance, of course, of like killing this. Maybe, probably not, but maybe.
Yeah.
Or just waiting for my mistakes, which will come. But yeah, it was fun. We can play more if you want, but maybe I don't know. It's up to you.
Let's do one more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
this is fun.
Yeah.
I like just getting myself all like.
It's such a I don't know. It's blood pumping.
It is, yeah. So let me do one more time. Challenge. So
Masco is saying, "Oh my God, Fisher time, please." Why?
why?
Oh,
Don't you see we're trying to suffer here?
I think it's because of your timeouts, but I don't think you mind that, right?
Yeah, it's past the for me here. It's past midnight actually, and it's 7 second maybe. I mean, at this point, Anton, 7 seconds it's not gonna help. I think even 10 seconds is still gonna be equally painful. But I mean, 10 seconds at least you can get some kind of decency into it.
Yeah, for the final game, you can decide the setting. You can change it if you want.
All right, let's make it 7 seconds.
Okay.
7 seconds is still painful, but it's
There's
increasingly
gonna be
less
a lot
painful.
less timeouts. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot less of losing Byoyomi.
Okay, kaboom!
All right.
Black,
I'll try to
please.
play.
Game
No!
started.
Oh, you're black again. Wow.
Come on, I'm 3Q. I'm supposed to be black. Terrible.
All right. Let's mix things up a little bit here.
Okay, sure.
I never play 3-3.
Okay, that's good to
I
know.
don't like its lack of potential and its press down
Okay.
ability.
I probably should have played something more standard, not to allow you this.
Byoyomi.
Okay.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Okay.
Is this where it was?
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Now I'm supposed to be the one invading that
6,
lower
5,
left.
4.
I don't like
3,
Yeah,
it.
you can show me. You can
2,
show me how to invade it.
1.
Well, I'm never in a position of invading it.
6,
I'm always the
5,
one
4,
who attacks.
3, 2.
Okay.
Can I do this?
6,
I hope not.
5, 4, 3,
I hope I can.
2, 1. Six, 5, 4,
Wait, what?
3, 2, 1. 2 periods left. 6,
Oh, it works,
5,
right? Doesn't it? It
4,
works.
I
3,
mean, it depends what you do.
2,
Depends what you do.
1. Last period.
Oh, I just lost all my periods.
6,
Okay.
5,
Oh, wow. There needs to be a what do you call it? Like a give
6.
time function, like KGS has.
When did it suddenly become
5,
so complicated?
4, 3, 2.
Why
Okay.
you have to go and make things so
Complicated, yeah.
6,
Okay.
5,
You know the Avril
4,
Lavigne
3,
song?
2, 1.
Why did I? Why?
I don't know what
6,
to do.
5,
I'm like, there's
4,
2 Hanes to
3,
do on you. I'll just do
2.
neither. I
Okay.
don't know which one I should do.
6,
Ah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. White wins.
Ah! Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was just so like.
You're like me. You're more interested in like the truth of the matter than like.
Yeah, I'm
the
trying to,
law.
because I don't like the result, obviously, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't like it. I have to come up with a way to, now I'm playing like I have to catch up. But like trying to catch up with 7 seconds, it's easy bet.
I know how you feel. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I knew that if by any chance the crowd was gonna choose this ultra blitz, there was no way that I was ever gonna win this. Like, cause I mean, it's you're stronger plus the time limits.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm good or bad at blitz. I'm bad with managing my time in a normal game, but it could be that when blitz forces me to not think too much, then I'm probably just average at blitz.
Yeah, time for handicaps. Yeah. Buzzsaw was saying. I was just thinking this. I was thinking that it would be more fun for me if we could make it like a time handicap game. You would get those 7 seconds, and I would get like 15.
Oh, is that possible?
I don't know. I'm sure it's not, because OGS is not wired this way. But if it were, this could be a really fun game. Like, you would be still thinking with 7 seconds, because you're still playing a very decent game. And if I could get my 15 seconds, I'm not sure 15 is going to be enough. Perhaps I would need like 40.
We
But
could give that feature request to OGS.
I mean, what was that shape?
So review game.
Do you want to grab reviews?
This shape.
Reviews.
Yeah, that
started.
shape is something I've never seen before, and so
I don't actually. So I didn't want to go here because this is painful.
Oh, wait,
right?
let me click review.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so I didn't want to go here because that is too painful
Yeah,
for my
I
liking.
thought the shape, I mean, the normal looking shape would be like P17.
Yeah, exactly. So I was gonna go here, but because I'm not sure about like, what's correct or whatever, I was like, am I like maybe gonna give black a slightly better result here? I don't like
But of
that.
course,
Or maybe
I'm gonna be really happy with this kind of result. Yeah, like getting this
maybe I should.
outside wall is exactly what I like.
Yeah, so I decided, I mean, there is a lot of shapes where just having this little dangling stone there allows this. There's a lot of shapes like that. And this might not be one of them, but I'm like, let's just go for it. Um, so how should you play here? Maybe so let's see. You did this, and if you take, then white's obviously okay.
Obviously, yeah,
Probably
yeah.
better. Yeah. From
Here's where I
here,
lost 2 of my periods. I think when I was thinking that I can connect afterwards, and it didn't help.
what I can say is that one of us definitely explodes here, but I can I think it works
Maybe
for
Hane
me, but
first. Maybe Hane in the corner. Yeah, yeah, this one.
and then connect.
Yeah,
So yeah, okay. I also
this.
need to Hane. Now there is another risk here for you though, because what if I were to play like this?
Yeah, double. There's a ladder, right? There's a ladder. Yeah,
So then
it
that
doesn't
means
work.
you
I
almost
mean,
can't
I can
Hane.
Hane.
So
Yeah, I would
you
have
could go
to.
here though, and
Yep.
we get some weird trade.
Well, if you play N18 now and allow me to capture, that's going to be pretty good. I would say.
I kind of I actually kind of like this for white if it goes like this.
Really? Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you don't allow me what I want. I wanted the top, and now you denied it for me. So that looks okay.
I actually think so. My guess here would be actually I think white is a lot better here than black because white got a very big corner and got out and also got sente, and then this is actually a little bit close.
Really?
To,
I'm gonna ask Kat to go after the game, but
no,
I'm
no,
my
we
guess
can
would.
do it. We can do it right away if you want. Like,
Yeah,
I
you can,
can
yeah, we can do it. Let's make predictions. I'm gonna say, what's your prediction right now? How much for black? How much for white?
percentage or points.
Let's go percentage. Oh, yeah,
Percentage, I would say.
points.
Oh, points. Points. I think white must have gained at least around two, at least around two.
Okay,
Something significant.
and I'm gonna say white is ahead by half a point.
Okay, and
Because you
I'm gonna
also
check it based on the position, going from the position we had to the position,
sure,
that
yeah. Because you
because
I'm
three
thinking that you
fives is
also have this weird because I'm sure that Katago wouldn't like my upper left, but it probably also wouldn't like your bottom left. So it's kind of
right.
so
So
the
I'm
only
taking this
question we're
out.
asking here is that what about the upper right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm clicking out.
did you gain extra advantage with this weird looking joseki sequence?
So give
Or
me a second, unless
sure,
you're doing it on your end. I'm clicking the moves. Yeah, you can keep talking, but I'm just clicking the moves.
no, it's fine, it's fine. Predict with channel points. Oh,
Here, here,
difference.
here, and then that one was a 3-5 corner. Okay, then I went in like that. You,
Hmm.
what did you do? Let me click back through the game a bit.
Yeah, my Anton redeemed a sip of tea, but unfortunately I ran out of tea. I had this
Oh,
I had this tea for the whole time, and then I ran out of it. Sorry, Anton.
okay. That shoulder hit or that pressing move that I played right after the one exchange is the AI move. They're both the AI move. So I come out with nice move, right? And
Wait,
then I press nice move.
you mean the first Kema, the P16 is the AI move? Yeah, this one I knew. I knew that this was the move,
These
but
are both apparently. This one's AI apparently,
you know, Ben,
and you're
I think you just
apparently
spent too much time with the AI. That's how he.
right reviewing 3-5
Yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah. Because I would never have come up with this move. I mean, maybe with a lot of time on the clock, it looks kind of. I mean, now that I look at it, it looks okay. Seeing
I
that there's
didn't.
no
So
direct.
I wouldn't say it's from. You know what it's from? It's from this kind of um, general position. I need to set up a bit more here, but um,
Oh, thank
how
you.
do I? I'm trying to figure out where I got that pressing move from. I think it's something to do with this joseki.
I think I also saw
Oh,
this somewhere.
Oh, it's from this, I think. Yeah, like here. No, that doesn't seem right. I actually don't remember where it's from, but it's from joseki. It's from joseki. I just can't remember. So let
Okay.
me continue checking with Katrine. So that's nice to know that that was actually correct.
Yeah. So my reasoning was okay. Then now I'm starting to doubt myself because if the schema, the second schema is correct, then I don't know. My reasoning was
AI,
that I was
yeah,
thinking that black gets a very like a solid chunk of territory on the right, and white gets only what like less than 10 points in the corner.
yeah.
Feels like a very solidly
Well,
nice
corners
exchange.
corners are you have to weight corner territory differently, right? Because it's like ultra secure, whereas the other stuff gets like affected by the weather.
True. Yeah.
But AI surprisingly doesn't like this one. It's minus 1.9. Isn't that shocking?
Wait,
That is shocking to
wait.
me.
This move. Wait. This block.
This move. That's
What
what my Kago is telling me.
what was I supposed to do?
I would have, to be honest, I would have played the same move. I would have played here, and we both lose 2 points by playing here.
Okay, I'm even less confident now. If I lost 12 points, I mean, if I lost 2 points just by playing this move, I mean, I wonder how much I lost after this.
So the score before my invasion, the score is white plus 1.2, which is just whatever. It's something to do with our stone arrangement, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 3 5s, and I have only one, so that's probably why. But going from that 1.1 up to here, so let me just go in, do that. The score is now white plus 2.6. And then when you play here, it loses one more point. So they wanted you to just back off there.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
And then I'll play out the rest.
Well, because I was still under the impression at this point that black was, I mean, this white Kama was probably a poor mistake, like
It's hit or miss, right?
a typical misclick, a typical 8 down mistake made on a 7 second Byayomi.
It's a hit or miss move. Like this kind of move, I would predict that it's like usually either the best move or very bad, right?
Oh, we've been raided by Stevie.
Ooh, thanks for the raid.
Thank you. Welcome, guys.
And you know how I said that like up to this part where you connected here, I basically my thought was like one of us is gonna explode, right?
Okay.
AI kind of agrees because like it has to be bad for one of us because it just seems like it's gonna end in a
Yeah.
bloodbath.
I should teach myself not to play such explosive variations. Like I play this sort of thing very often, and I think that it's really not good. It's really good Abend. I feel like it's really good to have a very solid Fuseki where nobody's gonna die anytime soon within the first 80 moves or something. When you play this, you just know it's hit or miss. Yeah.
But I don't blame like this one. We have to read a fair bit to tell who's gonna get the worst result, right? Like you don't die, right? So, but this one we both probably agreed that white feels better, right? So
yeah, this one for sure.
it actually is the AI move, but that has to be because this one just ends in a tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, of course, AI is never gonna.
So probably you made a mistake as well when you said it was white +2. It's probably like it's gonna end up being like white +5 or something, or 6.
Oh yeah, +2 was like wow, it's gonna be so wrong. Let's
It was
see.
so modest. And
I
my plus 0.5 was probably so overconfident.
oh wait a second, but I might have made a mistake with my rating because I was not rating this moment.
Okay.
I would have rated this moment way more for white.
No, this is more. Yeah, this is definitely terrible for. This is where I would probably consider resigning already because this is just disaster.
It must have been up to here, maybe something like that.
Yeah, and then white connects and black plays Hane, right?
Well, either way, we're already over 3 points for white, so it's 3.2 right now. Up to actually, when you connect here, it's 5.8 for white.
All right.
But if you captured, which we both didn't like for you, then it would have been 3.3 for white.
Yeah, but this capture is so unintuitive. I mean, you capture like this, and what are you gonna get?
Yeah.
Like this, you're gonna get a call that you can't win.
Yeah, it's only because this one must lead to a tragedy. That's all.
Okay.
That's the only
All right,
explanation.
let's keep looking at what Katego says after this. So Hane, now Hane in the corner. That's a variation that we talked
Yeah,
about.
they do want that. They do want that because this one, of course, just leads to you getting laddered, right?
Yeah, and
So
I
yeah,
kind of saw that already when I played that. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? But it was
but
too
then they
late.
actually, but then they actually want this to, I guess,
Whoa.
get more mobility around here somehow. I guess.
Yeah, to jump
'Cause
out
it is
easier.
threatening. Yeah, it's threatening the corner all the same.
Yeah,
So
it's like
corner.
it's like doing both directions.
Yeah, exactly. They still want me to go here. I guess you wouldn't be able to really co this. And then after that, they want you
Jump out.
to push actually,
Oh,
which
push. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
push, extend, push. Okay, they want this,
Wow. And then
and then
Black gets
oh,
just
it's a
sacrifice
squeeze.
the
Okay,
whole thing.
it looks like because there's still co potential too, so it looks like it's a
Wow.
sacrifice.
No, I mean, come on.
They have you Tanukiing now.
And it's
Oh
still
no,
and it's
oh no, they have
still
you playing here.
and it's still gonna be very much in White's favor, right?
So it is white +3 right now, and then they have you.
Oh, Stevie
Wait,
redeemed a sip of tea. Everybody's redeeming sips of tea. I mean, yeah, no, but now I finally got my tea thanks to Anton. So yeah, there you go. Cheers. It's my red, Chinese red tea.
they have me responding to the co-threat. You take back this, and then and then I just back off, and maybe we keep fighting co. Let's see.
And then I honey,
Oh,
and then honey at
then they have you going here actually. Silly AI.
yeah. I don't like this, and I mean, there's no
It,
way
it,
that I could have played this and
yeah, it gets
on second.
increasingly hard to understand
Yeah,
after
yeah. On
this.
7 seconds, this is just insane. Okay, and
But
now, so what about
yeah,
that variation that we got to? Even though I think that there's no way I'm winning that I'm
yeah,
winning
it's
that
gonna
bet.
be okay. So let's see. I'm sure it could have been a bit better though, even when you pushed there. Yeah. So they have you. So you push. They want me to extend instead of Hane. Okay, Hane is apparently a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some kind of yeah. So they want me to extend, and after that, they want you to fix your issue. Oh no, they changed their mind. They want this.
Yeah,
Well, they changed their
there's
mind
no
again.
way I can
Okay,
save both the four stones and the center
you
stone.
might be able to actually because of my corner. They are actually toggling back and forth between these, so they're both good moves. This one is +6, 0.6, which means it has the greatest benefit, but the lower win
Yeah, like
chance.
after this you can't ladder, so you have to still extend, right?
Yeah, after this they have me cutting though,
Oh,
cutting
okay.
and maybe
Extend, and then after this you extend,
yeah, then I extend, yeah,
and then I probably save my two stones. I mean, otherwise it makes no sense.
Ooh. And then this, yeah, it's getting complicated now.
And then I hane in the corner.
Yes, and
Oh
I
no,
oh,
this is
finally
hard.
win 20 life. So it's like this, bum 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 bum, dun dun.
Hmm.
And after you capture, I am doing this one.
Yeah.
And let me guess, another some kind of co. Let's guess.
Or is it gonna be a what was it gonna be a seki or what is this?
Well, in any case, though, it's white +14, 15.
Oh, pretty bad. Okay. So
Um,
so probably if it's white plus 14, it probably thinks that the black stones are dead. I mean,
yeah,
oh,
there's
oh
probably something gonna die. Yeah. That's a reasonable assumption, I think.
yeah. I'm feeling kind of bad that all of this. I mean, if all of this happened with 7 seconds, that's fine. But all of
Mhm.
this happened with 7 seconds in my favorite mokazushi. that's that's a pill that's hard to
Well,
take.
There. I mean, like this initial move that you played here. That's the same move I would have played if I were you. So it just means that we have to check AI on some of these variations.
And what was the move that the AI suggests instead of
Uh,
this?
this
Oh,
and this.
the other push.
They
Oh,
want
this.
They
Wow.
actually want this crosscut, yeah, but this other one also has a decent score. But it makes sense, like as a Dan player, right? It makes sense that you want white to go here first before you give them like empty triangle, right?
Well, I mean, this would have been perfect, but I knew that you would have to resist.
I would go here, yeah.
I knew you
For
wouldn't just play P15. Like P15 makes no
no,
sense. Yeah, it's a kind of Q player's move. Because that shape point,
yeah.
you don't want me to take it. Ah,
Um,
okay.
yeah. In fact, I lose 2.5 if I play P17. It looks like.
Yeah, this if you
Seems
play
worse
like
than
this, it would have been like perfect. A very simple, very peaceful, very nice looking black position. Love this.
right.
Even
And that's
even if
yeah.
AI says that it's bad for black, I still love it.
You could look into this though. It might be fun to do against people.
I will, because I got tired of playing the same. I mean, uh, like typically, if I get this in the game, I always Kema. I never do anything else, but I tried to experiment, which is probably a dumb idea with 7 seconds. But yeah, I will definitely look into this.
And it looks like it's a simple sacrifice. So it's gonna be boom, here first or here first doesn't matter, and then it's gonna be like that, and then something like that.
That's pretty okay.
Yeah,
Except,
white gets a decent direction, but black gets more profit locally.
yeah, I mean, I would very much prefer to give up the corner rather than take the corner. But that's just my style. So if you play it like this, I would feel more unhappy. Actually, I mean, the whole reason for me to play 017 was to try and pressure you into the corner. Maybe I should have played even
Oh, you
more.
gotta be flexible, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should have played even something like P17, which just forces you to play something
Yeah.
more conservative.
I mean, for chat, right? Because they might not, some of them might not know some of the shape stuff. Like, one of the reasons why people would attempt to get this exchange in before this one is because, first of all, if you imagine the empty triangle, like if you change the order of moves, then it's like this one, and after this, of course, white jumps or plays here, not empty triangle.
Yeah.
So that's the aim, right? Yeah. So that's why it makes sense. Like that's a sign of strength that he wants to go here. I also would have wanted to go here. I
Yeah, it feels
never
like you're making the wall. You're making the wall with the which works really well with the weird corner enclosure. So it kind
and
of
usually white does have to just go out right somehow. It's
anyway.
funny that neither like it's funny that like this actually looks pretty obvious now that you think about it, isn't it? Like I think that there was never a joseki like this, I think.
Yeah, but it's
Seems
not a joseki, but I don't like it the way it sets up this. I mean, this white stone at P16 just seems to be at the perfect spot to cut through
yeah,
my
you don't
shape
like
later. I just yeah, it's just my personal like and dislike kind of thing. Even though I can tell that it's a good position for black. I can tell that it's good for black, but I'm like, nah, it's just not my type of position.
I think a lot of other down players though wouldn't have thought of this one, but actually it's actually pretty one-way street if we just like the only complicated thing is this cut, right? Everything else would just be some sort
Oh,
of
very
peaceful.
simple. Yeah, oh yeah. This is just so
But it actually isn't complicated because we know white's not going to take this crappy corner.
sure.
So
White just
it
has
just
to
goes like
take
this.
white has to cut it off. Yeah.
So surprisingly simple, actually.
And I still don't like it. Anyway, thanks so much for the game. It was a lot of fun. Every time I play this, it's so refreshing.
Yeah. And chat, I think we might flip this, right? If you still want to do that sometime, where
Yeah,
you can come on.
absolutely. Well, let me go back to the
No
camera.
date yet because I do have a lot going on right now, so I'm not gonna suggest a date just yet. But
Yeah. So we were thinking, Ben and I were thinking that we would do like now he's a guest on my stream, and then next time I'm going to be a guest on his stream, and we're gonna do something else. Maybe he's going to ask me some questions. I'm sure that our interview is not going to be that long.
yeah, that was kind of long.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but
I
yeah.
don't mind.
So for next time we could do some more activities, and so this time it was my ideas, like our ideas, Go Magic ideas, and next time it was going to be Ben who will come up with something. Actually, you know what we were thinking here, and we were kind of thinking to set it up, and we thought it was going to be fun. But we ended up saying no to this. But a cooperative game. Have you ever played this with anybody? Like
Cooperative.
I mean, I just came up with this just pretty randomly. It's like you and I play against a random Fox opponent.
Oh
like,
yeah.
And
I've done that before.
and then we play like a Rengo. Like I play one move and you play one more.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
So we take turns and we also kind of discuss what's happening for the viewers. So we
That's gonna be hilarious because you and I have seemingly such a different style. So that's gonna be.
yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm gonna be worried about is just not to mess it up real early and
No.
just to but since we're gonna be it's not like strictly Rango. It's not strictly like when we don't discuss anything we're not allowed. Here we actually talk about it. We talk
Mhm.
about everything except for actually like telling each other, okay, come on, play here. Of course,
Right.
we don't suggest the moves, but we just discuss what's really happening on the board. Get Vadim to suffer through a 12-hour Fox SDK rank up stream.
I don't know if I'll do that again. I might do another rank up starting from like 1 dan or something, but
Give
that
yourself a
is
break and start from 3 down. It's still going to be a lot of fun. I mean, when Haley did this back in the day, remember that like a lot of years back, Haley did this rank up stream. I think she started from 5 done. It was amazing. I mean, for people like me who were like already 5, 6 done at the time, it was it was really cool to see how a strong player like her would would approach, and like how simple those games would look, and you would look at them and you say to yourself, I can do that. And then you go
have
out
you seen
there.
those, the ones that have a number on them all, and it's just a bunch of like a long series of like tie jump videos?
I think she started out like this, and then she went into. There was also some thematic teaching videos, and then she kind of I think stopped doing YouTube videos, and she started doing Baduk Pop.
Right.
Yeah,
Like those YouTube videos, those are like what probably gave me most of the idea to just do like this, where you talk about your moves as you play them for viewers. Because I enjoyed her videos a lot, and it's very you realize like the pro is still just like a normal person, and they make mistakes and they have like worries and stuff in the game. Um, and watching YouTube and stuff for like Haley, Ryan Lee, etc. I think it's really great to watch for a Go streamer, especially like if you have like a certain rank, but then you underperform a lot on stream. It's really hard to play full power on stream and stay focused, and it's just different. And when you lose to like, let's say I lose to like, Fox 5 Dan or something, right? Um, you might take a hit like for yourself when that happens, but you realize that like this happens to these monsters as well.
yeah. Well, except you don't see it. It's less obvious. Like when I
Yeah.
I have less confidence, and when I burn like really quickly. But when you see like Baduk Doctor play on stream, and he's like chatting, and he's like having so much fun, seemingly, and he's just let's just have fun here. Let's play this move for kicks, and then he just makes it work, and you're like. But he's a monster. He's like so way above there, so he can do pretty much anything and turn it
It's pro
into
level, right? Yeah.
a good game against a 9 done on Fox. Even
Yeah,
when he's
exactly.
talking or whatever he's doing, he can do anything.
It's crazy. So he's like a upper tier Fox 9 Dan, right?
Probably, yeah, probably.
There's a few tiers. Same with Taijam.
And
There's a few types.
and you kind of guess that if he wasn't streaming, he would be playing a much better game. But even
For sure.
then, even with the streaming, he's doing a very good job.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
It was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, I'm probably we're going to be busy with some things here and there, but yeah, whenever you find a time for in your very busy schedule, like a small slot, I'm I'm
I
gonna
mean,
be
July might even be possible, right? If you're available. But
sure. I'm gonna be happy to join your stream, unless it's gonna be a 12-hour rank up marathon. I hope it's not gonna be that one, but anything else, I'm up for it. Yeah.
sounds good. All right. Yeah. So thanks for having me, and I'll see you later, chat.
Bye.
Bye bye.
And whew. Baduk Doctor is pro strong. Yeah, Baduk Doctor is professional strength. I think I saw him um play like professional players live on stream and beating them. So I mean, this guy is like phenomenal. And he's also so if you haven't seen his videos, you can check him out. Baduk Doctor. I mean, maybe one day we'll get him live on stream and ask him a lot of questions because he's also a very curious guy. Speaks good English. And I think recently he made a course, like an entire huge course, like kind of like the ones that Go Magic, but like more comprehensive. Like it's one huge course covering like all of the basics of Go from like beginning to a certain level. So yeah, the Doctor Goes wins about 2/3 of his 9-time games, which usually include pros. Yeah. That's just crazy. That's why for me, playing live on stream, I know that a lot of streamers they feel okay just playing Fox games, Tijum games on stream. But I'm thinking because my strength is not that sky high, and if I'm going to be talking and trying to explain something, and I have less experience with this, it's going to be even worse. So I'm going to be probably playing some pretty bad moves like the ones that I did in BenKyo's games just now. And I don't want to do that. I'm like I want to practice those moves. Like I'm not sure I can deliver good teaching when like speaking live on stream. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it. But I guess maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. So Anton keeps telling me that people are okay with just streaming live for hours and not talking much and just just explaining some key ideas here and there. He's good to watch, especially for stronger viewers like Six Done. Yeah. I feel like even I don't understand. I mean, I'm probably not strong enough to benefit the most from his games. Those situations could have gone either way. Don't worry. Oh come on. Yeah, it's okay. But I mean, I knew what I was getting myself into, so it's fine. It's like it's a whirlwind of craziness. I was trying hard to quickly read them before each move. Yeah, it's just I feel like it's maybe a skill that needs to be like this bullet. Like Gooplet got really good with it. I've probably talked to her and asked her how she developed it, which is probably the answer is going to be just by playing like lots and lots and lots and lots of those bullet games, and then finally you become, if not good, but at least you become decent, so that you can still play a simple game. I mean, there's probably a few variations that you can decide, like, okay, I'm not gonna get into this and that, but I'm gonna stick to these like joseki sequences, and if I play these, then I'm not gonna get myself slaughtered anytime soon in the early fuseki. Try against exactly your level. I will. I might. I mean, I'm not sure how to set it up though, but yeah, probably I might try it on. It's kind of hard to do it on Taijam because I mean I'm pretty sure if I start putting into settings like 7 seconds, a lot of people will be just declining my challenges. So it has to be against someone you know. I think on KGS it was easier. On KGS is like everybody is doing those crazy things, and you can always find somebody who's going to be willing to play this. You want to play it 3 seconds? Fine, you're gonna find someone there. So yeah. Guys, it's probably one of our longer streams. For BenKyo, it's like a warm up thing, probably after his 12 hours thing. Nothing is going to be challenging after 12 hours, but for me, it's almost 3 hours now, and it's 1 a.m. here in Georgia. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming, and 10 seconds should be fine. You got to be relaxed, and then the time feels slower. At some point, I tried playing Blitz, and I thought that, if I play a lot of Blitz, I can become good at it. But somehow, it didn't really work this way. Like, I played lots of Blitz games before at some point, and like, at a certain point, you can play, like, intuitively, just from, it's not really reading, but it's just, you just kind of, from experience, you play a move, and it just works. Especially if you play against someone who's, like, your level or maybe slightly lower. And then it doesn't sometimes. So, but no matter how many games you play, it doesn't really make you a stronger reader. It just kind of facilitates quick intuitive moves. And I'm thinking, well, what if those quick intuitive moves are wrong? Then I'm just going to reinforce those wrong moves into the game. Same for me. I didn't get better from doing it a lot. I think people are just better or worse at it. Yeah, so it's probably not a very good thing to recommend to people as a practice routine. Something fun. I mean, I definitely had a lot of fun, even though I lost all the games. But I had a lot of fun playing this because it's like, it keeps you on edge. But at the same time, as like, if I had to recommend my students do something like this, I think there's just so many better things to do. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Thank you one more time. There are players who's bad at long games simply because they play fast and don't use their time. Exactly. A lot of actually, I think a lot of Taijam and Foxy players are like this. They are probably used to playing really fast, and then when you kind of drag them into a longer game with like 20 minutes main time, they still play like it's blitz, and they're very decent. I mean, you can tell they have those like 7,000 wins and 8,000 losses in their profile, and you could tell like, oh my goodness, they probably have a lot of experience, and so they just they play fast, but it's good fast. But you know, there's only so much you can read in if you play every move within 5 seconds. So they still should be able to sometimes just stop and read for a minute. And sometimes if you can't do it, that's pretty bad. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time, and we'll raid. Thank you, Anton. Let's do it. Yeah, let's raid.